Hello, everyone. This is Amritash. With me is Kiran. Kiran, hi.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kiran.
I am a batch of 2008 alumnus. I graduated in 2008. I wrote my JEE Advanced. At the time, it was not called Advanced. It was called JEE Mains. In 2003, I was a mechanical engineering student. So, and Kiran's just graduated this year. So all her memory is fresh. My memory is a little rustic. Kiran and I are part of the Ask IIT Madras team. You can see it here. And our job today is to help you with information that can help you take your JoSAA decision better. So we'll go through a bunch of things, and we have a presentation for you. We have some people joining us in the middle. It's going to be about 3 hours long. It is recorded, and we will send you the link later. Yeah, that's it. Kiran, any opening remarks?
I think we can just start the session. Just a few pointers. If you have any questions, you can type it in the Q&A box, and we'll get to you when we discuss the topics that you were asking about. Apart from that, nothing. Yeah, I think we can start.
Okay, so let me share my screen and just start, and then we can take questions as we go along. Okay, so firstly, welcome to Demo Day. This practice of doing a demo day for IIT Madras is about 2 years old. Last year, we did a physical event and an online event. This year, we did 3 physical events, 3 days, 17th, 18th, and today, 24th. Some of you, I'm sure you have heard about it. Maybe you weren't able to make it to campus, but some of our friends are on campus, experiencing the same thing that you will experience in person. Many years back, when I was a student, after I gave my JEE exam and before I gave my counseling choices, I could actually go to the nearest IIT, speak to a few professors, and decide with more information before I entered my choices. That practice was stopped in 2009, right? So since the topic is, since the practice was dropped, everything has become online. And, there are some benefits of doing everything online, and there are some cons of doing everything online. So last year, IIT Madras decided to allow some more information to flow from professors to students so that you can take a better decision. So this is the demo day for 2023. Welcome. My name is Amritash. My colleague Kiran is with me today. And sometime around 12 o'clock or so, we'll be joined by a professor from IIT Madras. Okay, so let me go ahead. Some boundaries. If you ask me which IIT is better, I cannot tell you. I'm so sorry. I think I know the answer, but I still cannot tell you. Or if you ask me, or if you ask us, should I join this IIT, this branch versus that IIT, that branch, we cannot tell you. But what we can do is we can give you information about how the system works and how you can take this decision. We cannot help you with admission. We don't have that authority. IIT just doesn't, IIT and JoSAA are independent bodies. You have to finish your JoSAA admission process. Once you get admission, then IIT can help you. But IIT or any of us associated with IIT, any IIT cannot help you with JoSAA. All right, so with those boundaries, we'll start. First, let's do this. Just make a mental note, or maybe if you have a pen or piece of paper, or if you want to put it in the chat box, that's also okay. Or if you want to put it in the Q&A, just put down all the questions that you think you want to ask. We will answer them one by one in the next 3 hours. So just a 2-minute halt for you to write down the questions that you want to ask. While you write these questions, just a matter of hygiene. There are about 700 people registered today. We are expecting about 300 people to join us. In this webinar, there are already 200 people who have joined. People on online webinars, people tend to join a little late. So we are expecting about a peak of 500 at around 12 o'clock. We can see all of you, not see, but we can chat with all of you. You will be able to only chat with us. So use the Q&A box and type out your questions, and we will answer them over the next 3 hours. You know, Kiran, what's happening is that some people are registering now, so I'm approving them as we go.
All right.
For those of you who already know, this may be a repetition, but Kiran handles the AskIITM.com website. This year we have got over 1,000 odd questions. This is AskIITM.com/ so this, and if you go to read answers, then all the questions here, most of them Kiran or Kiran's team has answered. So a lot of the questions that you are asking right now, some of them we have prepared answers for, and some of them we'll give you fresh answers.
Show them the placement website also, just quickly before we.
So we spent about 6 months this year putting together this website. So you will be able to see a lot of information that you need right from here. Anyone who has asked us a question earlier, many of those questions have already been answered. So there are questions on life at IIT, BTech, what are the courses, what is research, what are the research that's done, a lot of answers on the online BS data science degree. And many of you are curious to how or why IIT Madras keeps getting the #1 rank in NIRF, what does it mean, and so on. So we've answered a lot of questions on NIRF also. So do take a look. Other than that, one of the biggest questions we of course get is about placement. So we'll also take you through the placements website, which shows you the data of the placements that happened last year. What was the highest salary? What was the median salary? Which departments got what salaries? And also which companies came to campus to hire from this department. So all this information is available. We'll take you through it. We've got about 100 questions already, so that's quite overwhelming, but we'll do it. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. And first thing I want to tell you is that every student is unique and their journey will be very different. And what IIT Madras hopes to do is to support the students' journey of self-discovery in every way possible. So a lot of the questions, a lot of the way we'll be talking to you is about what IIT Madras can do and what your child, or if you are a student yourself, what you will have to do, and so on. Okay, so plan for the day. This is how our 3 hours will be organized. First, we will talk about academics at IIT Madras, credits, courses, electives, minors, IEEE, branch change. I'm sure a lot of you have questions about branch change, so we'll do that. Then we'll talk about outcomes, placement outcomes, jobs, research. How does IIT Madras support research? Can you go abroad? What kind of universities can you go abroad for? So on. Can you have startups on campus? What are the recent startups? What is the infrastructure about startups, and so on? Questions. We will answer a lot of questions and we will show you how our campus looks like. There is an aspirant track and a parent track that is on campus. This bottom section is for the on-campus event that's happening today. The on-campus event must have started by now. It also starts at 11. And it's possible if the students who are organizing the on-campus event, they may join us for a bit today. So this is the plan for the day. Before I go ahead, I would just like to say that actually no need. Kiran, I think we should just dive into
Yeah, I think we can start.
and so on.
All right.
Mary, you take over.
All right. So first, let's begin with talking about credits. In your time at IIT Madras, you'll be doing a lot of courses. Some will be compulsory courses, some will be elective courses, some will be constrained electives from, say, the humanities department, some online through mediums such as NPTEL, some offline, and so on. Each of these courses will affect your grades and also have a certain number of credits assigned to them. So based on these credits and these grades, you'll be getting a grade point average or a GPA every semester. And the cumulative of all of these GPA is your CGPA. So let's see how this works. As I said, each course is assigned a certain number of credits. And to graduate in a program, you'll need a specified amount of credits. Can we show them the table of the branch-wise credit requirements?
Yes.
So we can see here, each department and each degree program has a certain number of credit requirements that need to be fulfilled before the student graduates. For aero, it's 434 credits. For chemical, it's 432. For computer science, it's 432, and so on. So again, we see how these credits are sort of divided into separate sections. Some are from engineering, some are from elective courses, which can also be from the humanities, professional courses, sciences, and so on. And there are unallotted credits, which are usually called free electives that are sort of, here and there. You can choose your courses, which ones you do. So in a semester, there's a constraint on how many credits you can take up, which corresponds to a certain number of courses. So this limit, I think right now is 66 credits, which usually translates to around 5 to 6 to a maximum of 7 courses. Now let's see what a credit means. So 1 credit is 50 minutes of effort a week. So if you put in 50 minutes of effort, which is 1 credit hour, you can get 1 credit. Technically, every credit hour of class, that is every 50 minutes of class in a week, is believed to require 2 more credit hours of effort. So 1 credit hour of lecture hours. So 1 lecture, which is 50 minute slots. 1 50-minute is thought to have 2 more 50-minute hours of external work required. So to complete homework, to understand the material better, outside class, you'll be spending 2 more hours just learning, relearning the lecture. So every credit hour class requires 2 credit hours of study. Thus, a course with 3 hours of lectures a week, that will be 3 hours of lecture plus 3 into 2 hours of external study. So that's a 9 hours of work every week. That is a 9 credit course. A 10 credit course similarly is 3 hours of class, 1 hour of tutorial, and 6 hours of study outside. A tutorial only has 1 credit attached to it because it's believed that you don't require any external information to finish a tutorial, to study a tutorial, to spend 1 hour of study in a tutorial. So that is a 10 credit course. So similarly, we have 11 credit course, we have 12 credit course, usually with lab hours attached. Lab hours, similar to tutorials, are believed to not require any external information to work with. So each 50-minute slots of lab is assigned 1 credit. So that is how the credit system works. Again, going back to courses, we have a lot of courses. Some courses are again core or compulsory courses. And these core courses, especially in your first year of BTech, will be either department specific or batch specific. So department specific means each department will have particular core courses. And batch specific would mean the entire first year of BTech. So that is around, I think it's around 1,500, 2,000 students.
First year, about 1,200 this year.
1,200 students. all of them will be taking this course. So can you go to the link that is in the courses, attached to courses?
Yeah.
These are some of the compulsory courses in the first year of your undergraduate BTech degree. So first is PH 1010. That is a physics course. Again, all of these articles are on the AskIITM website if you want to take a detailed look. Then there is a math course that sort of goes over calculus again. And all of these courses are supposed to bridge school and your first year of college. So to provide an introductory view into subjects that you'll be exploring further. Another lab course, that's the physics lab course. Then we have a chemistry course, another physics course, another math course. These 6 courses are mandatory for all first year students in the BTech program.
So this MA 1101 will be a 10 credit course, for example.
And then we have some pass-fail courses, which are courses that are mandatory, but does not have a grade attached to it. So you can either pass or fail the course. One example is the life skills course, which is how do I explain the life skills course? It's a soft skills course that sort of helps you understand IIT Madras and also how to navigate life as a new adult, sort of in a new setting.
This is a very interesting thing, Kiran. When you are in class 10, 11, 12, and you think of courses, you think of, I have a textbook, I have to finish this, and so on. In IIT, some of the courses are like that. A lot of the courses are very different. So there is there are a lot of lab courses where you have to actually use lab equipment. There are also humanities courses. I did German, and students today can learn Korean, I think, and Chinese.
Yeah.
Have you done a Chinese course or a Korean course?
No, but I've heard the professor is really good.
You can do courses on philosophy. You can do courses on
film theory, linguistics.
These are the humanities courses, but also every department offers many courses that are beyond what we call as core courses. Kiran, why don't you speak about that?
So core courses are department specific. So you'll have a lot of courses that are mandatory for your program. So say you're in a mechanical engineering program, you will have courses related to mechanical engineering that need to be completed. So these are core courses, and there every semester will have, I think, usually varies, but in the beginning you'll have a lot of core courses and one elective course in your first semester. Say 3 or 4 core courses. Second year again 3 or 4 core courses, and it sort of declines as you sort of cover the basics of your degree program. And these are completely mandatory and worth a significant amount of your curriculum, credits, all of that. Apart from these core courses comprise around 50 to 60%. 40 to 50% of your curriculum is electives. Again, as I said, these are of various kinds. There are free electives, which are completely left to your own choice. You can choose any course that you want. There are some constrained electives. These are elective programs that you have to choose from either your department, or from the humanities department, for example. See, in the humanities department, you have 27 credits that need to be completed. Students can choose whatever they want from the humanities department, and there's a wide variety of choice, obviously, but these have to be done from the humanities department. Similarly, there are things that have to be done from your own department, which can either be in the professional or sciences category as well. So there are certain math courses that need to be done, I think, and a lot of other examples also.
So this professional electives and science electives and unallotted credits, students typically end up using these to pick courses that they like or pick subjects that they like. So 2 students in AE is Aero, 2 students in AE who join at the same time will end after 4 years with a very different set of courses based on what they have chosen. This is a very critical thing for incoming students to understand and incoming parents to understand. If you are in Aero, about 40% of your coursework is Aero, engines, flight dynamics, and so on. about 50 to 60% is under your control and outside your core area. And some of these credits you can use in other departments. Kiran, should we just move to minor?
Yeah, I think I'll just cover the grading system once and then explain. So each course will get you a grade. So this can depend from really good grades to average grades and some exceptions. So in IIT Madras, our grading is divided into, how many is it? 1, 2, 3, 8 categories. So that is S, A, B, C, D, E, and then U and W. So S, A, B, C, D corresponds to, on a 10-point scale, corresponds to S is 10, A is 9, B is 8, C is 7, D is 6, and E is 4, not 5, 4. E is a fail grade, okay. And then U is fail and W is incomplete. Yeah. So how your GPA gets assigned is based on the number of credits and the grade that you get. Say for a 9-credit course, you get an S grade, that is a 10. So that's 9 into 10. And say in the same semester, you have a 10-credit course that you get an A for, that is 10 into 9. So your GPA is calculated as the total number of credits into grade divided by the number of credits that you've opted for. So in my 2 course semester that I've in this hypothetical, that is 9 into 10 plus 10 into 9 divided by 10 plus 9. That is around, I think, 9.4. That will be your GPA for this semester. So that is how the grade system works. And U is a fail grade, W is an incomplete course. Say you don't have enough attendance. And we do have attendance requirements at IIT Madras. It used to be 85, but now it's been relaxed to 75. Is it 75? Yeah.
This semester it was reduced to 75%.
All right. I don't know if it's going to be continued, but we do have a slightly strict attendance requirement, but it's very navigatable in that, say you have an illness and you can't attend a few classes, you can simply go to the hospital, get a doctor's note, and you can sort of show the professors that, and professors are very understanding about it. All right, that is the grading system at IIT Madras. Now I think we can discuss minors, electives, and the IDDD program. I feel like these 3 features, that is a minor, the electives that you can do, and the interdisciplinary dual degree, these 3 features are key in understanding how flexible IIT Madras's education system really is. So minor, I'm pretty sure everyone knows what a minor is, but essentially a minor is, say, a subset of your degree that shows that you are proficient in a particular field. So this in IIT Madras, along with your primary degree program, say you're a mechanical engineering student, you can do a minor in practically in a vast majority of fields. Like, do we have the list?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up.
All right. And to obtain a minor, you just need to do 4 courses in a particular research area, in a particular field. Currently, this is the 2018 list. We can't show you the current list, but it's pretty similar. This is the number of minor courses available at IIT Madras. So let's go through the list.
So let's not go through the whole list. I'll give you my own example. I was a mechanical engineering student. I had a minor in operations research, which is a minor offered by the management studies department. So what students do is that every department offers minors. So you can see these are the minors offered by VT. And I'm sure you'll ask me what are the minors offered by CS. So these are the minors offered by CS, computing and AI minor. And to get this AI ML minor, you need to complete 4 courses in any of these, which you can do electives. Sorry.
There are some restrictions in that sometimes it'll have you do a few 4 courses for your minor and 2 electives from the basket that you've seen. Sometimes you can just do any 4 courses and you'll be awarded a minor. Sometimes you'll be 3-4 courses that need to be done, 1 minor, 1 elective. Similarly, it depends on the minor that you're choosing. So how this helps a student is that, say you are entering as a mechanical sciences student. As Amrit said, he did a management studies minor, which is very, very separate from what he joined as. Meaning you can sort of diversify your interests, explore a lot of areas, sort of figure out what you want to do after you enter college, unlike deciding everything that you want, having your future planned out before you enter college. So minors are one thing that can help you sort of expand your everything, expand your interests, expand your possible career opportunities.
Kiran, that's the big one. A minor helps you apply to more jobs. And when you're sitting in an interview, you can definitely say, I have a minor in this, or I have completed these courses. And therefore, the number of companies you can sit for widens a lot. So while, say, you have got some rank, and because of the rank system, you got some course, right? And you've come into IIT. And after a year, you've realized that, this course is not for me. It happens to everyone, even CS students who come in after a year, they realize, I don't really want CS, or I want to try something else. So then they can use their electives, their minors, to learn something else. There's a question here, can I learn robotics? Yes, answer is you can. There is a number of courses that are related to robotics. You have free electives. You can choose those courses on your own. And if you have a set basket of courses, you can actually get it as a minor, which will reflect on your degree. Actually, it doesn't reflect on your degree, but you get a separate certificate that says that you have done this minor. So we covered courses, credits, electives, minors,
And grades.
Now the big one. Oh, before the big one, let's do IEEE.
So another feature of IIT Madras that helps you diversify your portfolio, just to say, is the interdisciplinary dual degree. So a dual degree, at least, okay, let's talk about this way. When you do 2 degrees, when you want to graduate with a BTech and an MTech, you normally do 4 years of BTech, and then you join an MTech program and do that for 2 years at least. So that is comes up to 6 years of study. A dual degree program is 5 years. So your MTech and your BTech are combined into a total of 5 years. And you graduate with a BTech and an MTech. We used to offer dual degree programs, and we still do. For example, engineering design is a dual degree program, right? Yes, engineering
design is a dual degree program still.
And so is engineering physics. What IIT Madras now has is something called an interdisciplinary dual degree. That is, again, a dual degree program. You graduate with an MTech, but you don't choose before you join college. And you don't choose the subject that you want before college either. So while you're in your BTech program, in your 3rd year, around your 5th semester, you can choose some MTech program that are not necessarily in your field. You can choose within your field, but you can also choose something that is completely separate from your field. For example, some of the dual degree IDDD programs that we have right now is quantum science, data science, robotics, electric vehicles, biomedical engineering, for example. I think we have energy systems, and we even have a tech MBA. We have an MA in public policy, a lot of options. How this helps a student, again, is to widen your field and widen the amount of companies that you can apply for. Again, increases placement opportunities and also allows you to explore an area that you would not previously have explored. A mechanical engineering student can take data science. An aero student can do biomedical engineering. A chemical engineering student can do something on energy systems or electric vehicles. So unlike a traditional dual degree, your field isn't compressed by your primary program, right? So you don't necessarily have to do your MTech in mechanical engineering if you did your BTech in mechanical engineering. So that is the advantage of doing an interdisciplinary dual degree.
There's one more thing. So Kiran spoke to you about the idea that instead of having to choose your dual degree MTech discipline at JE, which is now at the age of 17, when you don't know what engineering is like, you get to choose it 2 years later, which is great because by those 2 years, you have a good idea. We'll also show you the list of IIITs. What is more interesting is the acknowledgement that in the industry today, engineers are expected to know more than one thing. It's not, nobody is a pure civil engineer. Nobody is a pure naval engineer, a naval architect. The good naval architects or the good civil engineers or the good computer science engineers are people who are able to pick up understandings from different fields. So the IIIDs, interdisciplinary dual degrees, by nature are offered by more than one department together. So at this point, I think it makes sense to show that list, right? IDDD. So all of this is there on our website. We are just guiding you through it. So these are the IIID options that are being offered right now. It's a list of 12, I think, right now, but it's going to grow. Like Professor Kamakoti, who is our director, has often said that he's going to raise this list to about 20, but maybe it'll take some time. So you can see here, there's advanced materials, complex systems, biomedical, computational engineering. This is the Chomsky IIID. Atmospheric climate sciences about to start, cyber physical systems, data science. This is very popular on campus. Electrical vehicles, again, very popular on campus. IIT Madras is very ahead in electrical vehicles and all components of it, including batteries. As you know, Ather Energy, the electric bike company, was started on campus by ED, engineering design students, Tarun Mehta and Swapnil, back in 2012. So a lot of our alumni actually work in electric vehicles. Energy systems, robotics, there's a IIID in robotics. I think there are some questions that have been asked about robotics. So this is your answer. Quantum science and technology, advanced, this is also a computer science course, quantitative finance, public policy, and a lot of people take tech MBA. If you want to add an MBA to your student career, to your student life, or to your resume, and you don't want to spend 2 years. Also, you have to understand that an IM or an ISB is also very expensive. So some students do opt to convert their BTech into a BTech plus a tech MBA. It's useful. There's a question regarding cutoff for CGPA in IIID.
It's right now it's an 8 CGPA, and for tech MBA in particular, it's 7.5. And this is after your CGPA after your 5th semester, that is midway through your 3rd year.
Students usually have good CGPA in the beginning.
Yeah.
And sometime they realize that maybe they can relax a bit. So
which is not a bad thing, which is a pretty good thing. You sort of get out from the JEE pressure.
Yeah. There's a perception that dual degree is considered lower compared to BTech. I will tell you from my own experience that this is not true. And if you look at the placement data, which again, we will show you how to use this site in a bit. But if you look at the placement data and you go down here and you look at dual degree salaries versus BTech salaries, almost always dual degree salaries are higher than BTech salaries, simply because they've studied one more year, more courses. So companies reward that. I'm trying to see if there's any more IIID questions. For IIID, BTech in EE and MTech in CS, is it possible? BTech in EE and MTech in CS is not possible, but BTech in EE and MTech in any of the IIIDs is possible.
Yeah, I think the one that is offered by the CS department in particular is data science right now.
Data science, computing, quantum.
Yeah.
Again, they're not offered by one department. They're offered by multiple departments.
Yeah. As in CS is involved in these IIIDs.
Yes, correct. Okay, great. There's a perception answer, not true. Can we quickly look through and can you spot any questions, Kiran? By the way, there are close to 175 questions. So we will try our best to finish everything. But yeah, it'll take us some time. IIID is a 5-year course. So when you convert to an IIID, you are converting your 4-year course to a 5-year course. You graduate with 2 degrees.
I I
What
think
is off-campus and on-campus placements? The placements for BTechs, those and IIITs, those who join through JoSAA is online, on campus. Sorry, on campus. It's not online, it's on campus.
off campus is everything that you applied for yourself, as in by yourself, as opposed to the institute place.
Okay, that's a good point. I think we will cover that in our placement section. So, okay, we have answered some questions. Oh, how do we apply to IIIT in JoSAA? You apply it at the end of 2 years, 5 semesters. Again, this is a big change from 5 years back or 10 years back. When I was a student, I had to choose my dual degree at the time of JoSAA. Now students choose their BTech, get an understanding of what they want to do in life, and choose their IIIT at the end of second year. That's the whole point of doing it like this, to give students more flexibility.
This ties in with another question asking why certain dual degree programs were discontinued. Again, as we explained, to sort of ensure that students get a lot of flexibility and there's a lot more choice and agency going into their decisions.
This is actually very critical for everyone to understand. At your age, at 17, 18, you're being forced to make a choice. What IIT has been trying to do is try to delay that choice for you. To join a course, you have 40 to 50% electives. As you go through IIT, you discover what you like, then you commit to a IIIT. Can we use the IIIT program even if we are an ED? Short answer is yes, but it's a little more complicated than that. You will have to change your ED MTech. You will not get your ED MTech, you will get the IIIT MTech, but it's possible. Okay, so let's hold on to IIIT because the big question is coming up, which is, so many of you have asked us, and on our website, we have seen the number one question every year is there branch change? The short answer is yes, there is branch change. I will tell you how this works. At the end of your first semester, based on your grade point average, which Kiran has explained, the top rank in every department have to fill a form. If they want to, have to fill a form. Based on the ranking, some students get a slide up or a slide down. That is, maybe a aero student can switch to mech, or a elect student can switch to civil. Both are allowed depending on your grade point average, and the constraint is that no branch can change its size from by more than 10%. So this means that if all of you want CS, it's not possible because CS is a 40 student class and it can only go up to 44. I don't know how much it will be this year, but I'm just telling you from earlier. But in my batch, in my mechanical engineering batch, there were about 10 branch change students who had come from other branches. So yes, branch change is possible. So that's the short answer. However, branch change makes it very, very, very stressful in the first year. What happens is that students have been studying for so many years for JEE, and they come to the campus. The campus is a beautiful campus. They all, so there is freedom. You have to wake up on your own. Your parents are not there. You have to wash your own clothes. And somebody has asked about the monkeys. So you have to deal with the monkeys. You have to feed yourself, right? Nobody will come and give you food on your own. So when you first come to campus, it's a new life. In that new life, if you force and pressurize yourself to get a very high CG, it is difficult. All of us at IIT strongly discourage you to keep branch change as your main objective in your first semester. If you get it, great, congratulations. If you don't get it, if you don't get a branch change, don't worry about it. You have 40 to 50% of electives you can choose. You have a minor you can pick. You can switch to an IIIT in something else. So from IIT's point of view, what it is trying to do is it is trying to give you the flexibility, even though it can't give everyone a branch change. I hope that is clear, and that is why we answer this question after explaining you what are courses, what are curriculum, what are electives, what is a minor, what is IIID. So that is the short answer and the long answer. Now, this answer is also available on our website. If you just go to AskIITmadras.com and you search for, or you don't even need to do that. You can just search for is branch change there in IIT Madras, and you will reach our answer. So the answer is yes, but if you don't get branch change, there is a lot of academic flexibility. So civil students can take robotics, CS students can take physics, mech students can take management like I did. NA students, naval students can take data science, not an issue at all. You can put some of your courses to make it a minor, or you can switch to a 5-year course, dual degree course, and you can easily widen your scope, your learnings, your ability to get a good job, your ability to apply abroad and so on, by using the academic flexibility that you have. And therefore, yes, branch change is possible, but there are other ways to achieve the same objective that a branch change gives. So that's the branch change question. Now let us quickly search for questions related to branch change and answer some. Tejas asks, is a branch change possible from biological sciences 5 years to a BTech 4 years? The answer is yes. Again, same.
From biological sciences, no, I don't think so. From biological engineering, yes.
Okay, fine. So let's do this. Let me answer saying, please ask this on AskIITM.com and we will verify it and answer.
Yeah. As of right now, I think the current thing is that you can only branch change within the same degree program. So you can't do BS to BTech or BTech to BS, but you can do BTech to BTech/MTech, and you can do BS to BS.
Somebody asked, is there internet in IIT? Yes, throughout campus, you have internet.
Yes. You have LAN ports in your hostels also, so that you can access the internet in your hostels as well. And of course, all the more shared spaces have Wi-Fi.
Somebody asked, do we need to know the basics of C language? Not needed, you will learn it.
Yeah, a coding course is compulsory in your first year, right?
Yes. I wonder if they still teach C. They used to teach C when I was in 2000. Is IIID possible for a course which is already a dual degree? Yes, that you are talking about AE or ED. Yes, both possible. Can we do 2 minors? Answer is yes, but it's hard.
It's very difficult because you'll be constrained by just time alone. It's a lot of courses that you'll have to complete in your 4 or 5 years.
Can we do double majors? Answer is no, only one BTech. But IIID allows 1 BTech plus 1 MTech. Can you take an IIID in any of the available options if you have CGPA of 8 or?
Yes.
So this is already answered, I think. What is the scope if you take major in mech and a minor in CS? Will we get placed in mech companies or software companies? So I think now is a great time to go to placements. So let me share my screen again. By the way, all of you, we will send you a recording of this so you can go through it in detail.
We have a question that asks, how much does the IIT tag matter today? And honestly, not to sound very smart, but I'm guessing you are here for a reason, and that sort of answers your question very well.
I think I will answer that question differently, Kiran. What happens is that it's not that non-IITians don't get opportunities. They do. But say you are in VIT Vellore or SRM or SSN, which are all great Chennai-based colleges. I have friends from them. I have cousins who have gone there. Maybe 10% or 20% of the class will get great opportunities. In IIT, all 100% will get great opportunities. That's the big difference. The difference is that if you are in a different college, you will have to work hard throughout. That's the main difference. But Kiran, you're right in saying that everybody's here. So obviously there's a reason they're here.
And we can show you all the opportunities that we have, or our students, at least in the current batch, have had when we discuss placements, which we'll do right now. Right?
I think I'm sharing my screen on this, but I'm very sorry, but people keep registering late. So, okay, let's go back to place and let's start the placement. So we are currently going to talk about this section, and then we'll talk about these two later, maybe around 1 o'clock. So first thing I have to tell you that the placement office is run by a small staff of 10 people and about 200 students and one faculty member who oversees this. This has been the system in IIT for many, many years. And this is the system in all IITs. So what this team does is that they write to companies, all kinds of companies, saying, look, our students are about to graduate. Why don't you come to campus and interview them and take them or give them an offer before they graduate? So the placement season happens before graduation, much before graduation. December 1st is usually the first day of placements, and it goes on till about May for final year students. So if I was in my final year now, or that is if I were entering my 4th year now, or 5th year if I was a IDDD, then I would be getting ready to sit for placements in a few months. So I would be currently in June, July, I would be studying what companies are coming, what kind of jobs they offer, how can I write my resume better. Maybe I'll be attending some sessions on how to present yourself better. And by December 1st, I would give my first interview. Similarly, there's an internship system that the same team runs. The internship is for pre-final years. That is the students who are in the 3rd year or 4th year for IIID. These 200 students there are teams for each department. So there'll be an ocean engineering team, there'll be a mech department team, there'll be a civil team, and so on. So they will look at companies in that sector. There will also be teams for startups. There'll be a team saying, let's go get the startups to come to campus. There'll be teams for data science companies. So because it's a student run thing, depending on what the students want, they organize themselves saying that, look, this year we are interested in these companies. Let's get those companies to come. Every year, about 300 to 400 companies come. This year, 350 companies came to campus. These companies are all kinds of companies. We'll show you. And so this is how the placement system works. On December 1, there will be all the big companies like Google, Facebook, and all of them will come on December 1. BCG, Bain, JP Morgan, all of these companies will come on December 1. And then therefore, they will come on subsequent days. Each student is allowed to have only one job. So the minute he accepts a job, he cannot sit for any other placement. Right. So this is the brief way how placement works. Now, what I want to show you is the placement site that we have prepared for you. This is a very important site for you to go through. Are you able to see my screen fully? Yeah, great. So how this works, what we have done is we have taken the data of the placements this year that is completed this year and presented it to you so that you can get the information that you want. So it starts off by saying that total 1,600 offers were made to IIT students. If you click explain this, it will tell you that these were across BTech, dual, MS, MSc, MTech, MBA, MA, PhD. Out of the above 1612, there may be other offers made to students off campus. Somebody asked about on campus and off campus. These are the offers made through the placement department. There are students who don't use the placement departments and go outside. Kiran, for example, is joining Core Voice, my company, and she has not got this offer through the placement department. So in 1612, although Kiran has a beautiful job that she's very proud to join, it doesn't get counted. So many students are like that. And therefore, you will never see IITs talk about 100% placement simply because a lot of students don't use the placement facility. Everybody gets a great job. Only some of them get it through IIT. Maybe about 20%, they get it on their own, or they go for higher studies. They go for CAT, MBA entrance, or they go for civil services entrance and so on.
Sometimes they just like taking a year off to just decompress.
Yeah, they sometimes just take a year off saying, "Bas bahut pad liya, ab ek saal bas baithna hai." But some people do that. It's called a drop year. Out of this, 830 were BTech and dual offers. This trend has been going up. IIT Madras placements have been improving year upon year. This was, of course, a little low because of the pandemic. Then of this 830, 618 were campus offers, 212 were pre-placed offers. These are offers that were made to interns, the companies where they did internships. Those companies, maybe they liked them a lot. So they said, you know what, we love you, here, take an offer. So that's called a pre-placed offer. You'll hear this term again and again, popularly abbreviated to PPO, pre-placed offer. This is the median salary of all students. This is the highest salary. Again, please understand that some salaries are not included in this. Sometimes off-campus salaries can be quite high, and they don't get included here. We at IIT Madras typically don't like to focus on the highest salary because it gives a lot of stress to everyone else. We don't like to say, oh, so many 1 crore offers came out, so many 2 crore offers came out, so many 4 crores offers came out, simply because these offers only go to 20, 30 students, maybe 50 students. But we have to make sure that every student is placed and gets a good job that he's happy with. And therefore, we don't focus too much on higher salaries. So you won't see that on this website. And if you ask me how many people got a 1 crore offer from IIT Madras, I will tell you, it doesn't matter. We won't be telling you. Or we have the data, we're just choosing not to share. Which sectors did people come from? So about 30% of the 21.2% of the companies were core companies. What are core companies? For example, Reliance is a core company to chemical engineering. Microsoft is a core company to computer science. PwC is core to civil. Qualcomm is core to electrical. Aether is core to ED and mechanical. So whatever you've studied, if you're going to do that, that's called a core company. Then there are a lot of analytics companies, lot of software companies, a lot of IT companies, consulting companies like McKinsey, Bain, BCG, bunch of R&D companies, especially the big multinationals. They have R&D wings like Honda, Shell. Shell, in my year, Shell R&D Bangalore offered about 30 jobs. And it was a great offer, very high paying. You're in Bangalore, you're working for a multinational, great job. Finance companies come to IIT Madras. I know there's a big debate online about how all IITians join finance companies. It's not true. Only about 4 to 5% of IITians join finance companies. Here's the data for you. You can take a look at it. FMCG companies like ITC, Hindustan Lever. I started my career in a FMCG company, and some education companies. What were the roles offered? These are the kind of roles that are offered. You can take a look at that also. You can see the percentages. So 30% is consulting or analytics, 30% is software or IT, and 30% is about core. So this is the broad allocation. So 30% of engineers graduating last year joined core jobs. That's what it means. These were the offers. All students, maximum 1.32 crores. Median salary 17 lakhs. You already saw that number. Dual degree, BTech, you can see the split. If you are interested, so further down, there are companies who came to campus. So there are all the 350 companies are listed here. If you want to check for a specific company, did Aether come? You can just search. Or did Honda come? You can just search. Somebody asked in the chat, will automobile engineering companies come? Just search and you will know whether they came. Now, if you want to quickly check, okay, this is the data for everyone. Can you tell me for chemical engineering? Then you click here and it will tell you the same information for chemical engineering. How many offers were made for everything? What were the kind of roles? What was the salaries? Everything is offered to you. It's data that's been tirelessly compiled by the placement team, and we have just organized it so that you can answer all your questions. So if you have a question like, will software companies come to naval architecture? You can just check and you'll see a bunch of software companies here who did come and hire from naval architecture. Can naval architecture students sit for computer science jobs? The short answer is yes, some jobs they'll be able to sit for. I'll give you a longer answer in a minute. So you can use this site. It will give you a lot of information. Further, if you come to the section below, whatever I have explained today, just now, about the placement process, where do companies come? What jobs can students sit for? Is it the same system for all IITs? Yes, more or less the same. All of that. Plus, we have put together stories from this year's students who graduated this year, and their stories we have recorded.
So initially, whenever
you can take a look, somebody's become a data scientist, somebody's become an engineer, somebody's become a manager in an FMCG company, somebody's gone to quant, which is a finance role. So you can read their stories, you can listen to them, you can hear them talk. So you will get a good idea of how placements work in IIT Madras. What can you get of it? What can you expect? So broadly, this is it. Now we will look at the questions and answer some specific questions. So one question that everybody has is, one second, let me just answer this. Is in this year, students not getting job because of recession? IIT Madras has no problem so far because of the recession. Great placement year, better than last year and better than the previous year. You saw the trend. But some companies have delayed the joining. So instead of joining in June, they've said, okay, join in August, things like that. But no impact for IIT students so far. Okay, one of the questions that people often ask is, will a naval architecture student or a civil engineering student or a mech student be able to sit for CompSci jobs? The answer is yes, they can. How do companies decide which branch to hire from? Sometimes when the companies come onto campus, they have very specific requirements. So somebody might ask, somebody might say, I'm looking for an AI ML engineer. So if they're looking for an AI ML engineer, they might want AI ML as a course that you have taken, or somebody who's looking for a computer architecture student, or it's a job that is related to computer architecture. So they may want somebody who's a CS major. For most software jobs, the jobs are open to all students. Usually, the company will set a test and you have to cross the test. And if you're good at it, then you can sit for the interview. So that's the long answer. Yeah. So any more, Kiran, shall we just quickly go through questions on placements?
Yeah.
Will students get salary as soon as they get placed or even when in college? No, it's only after you join. How to check for jobs in certain branches in AskIITM website? Go to click on placements in the menu. How easy is it for internships in other fields than your major? It's a good question. I think that I don't know the answer. Maybe if you can ask on AskIITM, we can check with someone. So just to inform you that Kiran and I have been working for AskIITM for more than a year now, almost a year, more than a year.
Slightly, no, you have been working for more than a year.
I have been working on it for 1.5 years. But you know, IIT Madras is such a big system, so many students, so many courses, that even now I feel like there are parts of it that I don't know. So if you ask me a question that I don't know the answer to, I will say, please ask on AskIITM.com and we'll find someone to answer it. What about aerospace engineering? please check the placement website.
A question that we're getting is, if we are not that package oriented, is it okay if we choose a lower branch at a good IIT? So
100%. Now we are going to be joined by a professor around 12:30. He's in a class, so he's going to finish that and come. And you can ask him the same question. Professors, some of the professors in IIT teach really well. It's amazing to sit in their lectures. So for example, some of your students, so you can imagine that a lecture on aerodynamics or how a plane flies or a lecture on rocketry would be great to sit on. But we all understand that, you know, there are only so many jobs in rocketry. There are only so many rocket companies in the world. So it's very competitive and sometimes they don't pay very well. So this happens often. Many IIT students, once they know a little more about engineering, they don't chase the highest salary. Some students, of course, are very salary oriented, but a lot of students are more oriented on what they want to do in life and how they want to contribute to the world around them, what kind of engineering they like, and so on. A lot of students start up. So you can imagine that startups can be a rough journey for the bank. So yeah, so this is roughly. Kiran, just pick questions. I think Professor Anirudh is messaging me.
right.
Join in 10 minutes. Okay. Can you please explain the testing process for placement? So every company has its own test placement process. So it's not a uniform process. So for example, say
some will have one entry-level test, and based on the students shortlisted from that, then they'll have an interview round, or sometimes even 3 rounds, one group discussion round and then an interview round. So it's a highly specific and company-centric thing. So it depends on the company, what their needs are. So, and IIT Madras doesn't really restrict companies and their testing procedures, but yeah, that's it.
actually, I would like to add something here. I think it's there on our slide. So let me go to the slides. Yeah, here, right, this slide. So I think we've covered most of it, right? So we've covered that core jobs are jobs where students are doing what they learned in their, I'm so sorry. Students will do what they have learned in their field of study. Other jobs are consulting, finance, and so on, right? And then there are startup jobs, Aether, Agnikul. Agnikul is a rocket company. And of course, there are a few very high-paying international jobs. By the way, most of these really high-paying jobs are international jobs. The reason they're so high-paying is because once you convert dollar to rupee, everything looks high. So that's the job scene. But I also want to tell you that what happens on campus during this period is that it is a super tough time for students because they're just deciding what they will do in their life, what companies they will apply to, and so on. So I want to bring your attention to this section. Final year is very stressful for all students, and collaboration is super important. So what you will see in IIT Madras is students coming together, studying for tests together, helping each other. A lot of students are very nervous in their interviews, so their friends will help them prepare. And you will see these very poignant scenes in during the campus placements where one student has got placed. The minute he gets placed, instead of celebrating, he goes and helps his other friend who's still sitting for interviews. And so on. So, and these are very important for students to win together. It's never a competition. It's not like, oh, I got a job, so I'll now make fun of you saying that you didn't get a job, or I get a better job than you did. It's not like that at all on campus. Everybody works together. And it's a great time to be on campus because you can really feel the energy of all these bright students who are studying together, who are helping each other, and so on.
One question that we received is, how many internships can we opt for in our 4 years at IITM? So our intern drive is usually organized in the pre-final year. So that's third year for 4 years BTech students, fourth year for dual degree students. There is no restriction on the amount of internships that you can do. But the intern drive as such will only happen in the third year. But we have students, for example, in the AskIITM team itself, students who are doing an internship with us in their first year of college.
A lot of students do first year internships, second year internships, winter internships, and so on.
And
in my 5 years in IIT, I did only one full internship and one sort of half internship.
My internship was with CoreVoice. And all right, what was I about to say? Yeah. So internships again depends on the student. Some courses, some programs have a mandatory internship that is used for credits. Some internships are allotted credits as well. I think the general rule is that you can't do 2 internships at the same time.
You can't do officially 2 internships.
Yeah, officially.
Some students
wouldn't be recommended. It's too much work. You can't give your whole for one thing. So
yeah. We are smiling because what happens is that sometimes students really find something they love, like really love it. So they just do as much as possible. Sometimes it's like 2 internships, long hours and so on. Sometimes students take it easy because they've studied for so many years and they just want to, have a healthy life or focus on something else. So it's a big range. All the 1,200 students who will apply, some will do 5 internships, some will do 1 internship, and so on. It'll be the full range. Some will do a semester exchange, which we'll talk about at maybe 1 o'clock or so.
We also had a question, I think, on CGPA and cutoffs. So some companies, while coming for placement, do place a CGPA cutoff, but it's rare and it's usually not a very high CGPA cutoff. It's usually around, I think, 6, 7, maximum 8.
I want to answer this question. Is GPA a relative score or is it an absolute score? This is a great question. In IIT, most courses, like 90% of your courses, will be relative grading, which means that in one class of 40 students, maybe the professor will give the top grade to maybe 2 or 3 students. And then few more grades, maybe 10% will get top grade, and the 20% will get the next grade and so on. It depends on professor to professor, but it is relative to each other. It's not an absolute score. The top guy in the course could have got 60%, for example, in his exams. However, there are some courses which are not relative grading. One course which is very popular on campus is called Happiness, Habits, and Success. This is a course that is offered by multiple faculty. It is about how do you, we can share some links on this. But it is about how do you find happiness in such a competitive environment, and what does success look like, and what kind of habits do you need to have to be successful. So that course is an absolute grading course, which means everybody can get the top grade. I don't know if they do, but on paper it's an absolute grading course. Most courses. Okay, we still have 340 questions to go. Please share link AskIITM.com as most. We will be sharing the presentation. The presentation has many of the links embedded. So you can take a look.
We have a question saying there is a taboo that mechanical engineering is not suited for girls, or very less girls join mechanical.
This taboo is at least 30-40 years old. At least. So I will tell you one thing, like there is a feeling that mechanical engineers have to work in factories and lift machines and use tractors or something. It's not like that at all. Most of the time, most engineers today sit in front of a computer or they have a big team. If they want a machine moved, they will ask a foreman. They won't do it themselves. So it's perfectly safe for women. Kiran, you want to add?
Yeah, there is no such restrictions, and it's encouraged that women should be joining branches that are technically not considered to be women's branches, right? Such a perception isn't really. It's
Because I was in mechanical engineering, one of my closest friends, my next roll number, was a girl. Her name was Karuna. She's an alumnus. She's doing very well for herself. She's she's a senior VP at ITC. She set up a few factories for them, and you meet her. You meet that kind of top management women that you read about in newspapers. Amazing person, breezed through mechanical engineering, and she was actually very good at even the workshop parts.
I think that answers the question.
The same with ocean engineering, chemical engineering, and so on.
There is a branch that is not an option for women, is what you're trying to say.
Professor Pratap answered this question, and he said he thinks, and he's not sure, he thinks that mining in ISM Dhanbad is still men only. I'm not, again, he said he's not sure. But other than that, all courses in IITs have both men and women. To 22% women. The campus is now 20 to 22% women. There are a lot of questions here that say, this is for everyone. There are a lot of questions here which are, I might get
I think we lost internet. We'll try to join once again. One sec. All right, I think Amrit will join again in a while. Until then, we can just keep answering questions. Let me start from the bottom. So, again, any placement questions, I'll redirect you to the placement website, and I have put the link in the answers that I've answered already. How is the mess food is a question that I just saw. All right, mess food, again, typically good. It's not bad, I'd say. I mean, it's not like hotel food is what I'm trying to say. And the only issue that students generally have with mess food is that they get tired of it, which makes sense if you're eating the same rotation of meals over and over again across, over a period of, say, 3 months or so. So apart from that, mess food is great. It's not bad at all. And we have had no complaints as such about mess food. Is Amrit back now? No, all right. Moving on. Can you gain credits through means other than courses in the university, like working on? So some internships can be transferred as credits, and also we have semester exchange programs, which is when you can take a break from college and attend college in another university, usually abroad. IIT Madras has several MOUs with at least 200 colleges, I believe, and you can attend a semester there and transfer your credits from courses that you do in this particular university back to your own grade sheet. And
CEMEX, so I think, sorry, I got booted out by my router. I'm just checking in with Professor Anirudh if he's joining. But I'm just wondering if we go down the CEMEX route and he joins midway, then we'll have to.
Yeah, all right. No, I was just answering a very quick question. We can cover all of this in detail a little while later.
I will just answer one whole class of questions. There are a lot of questions saying, I've got a seat. I can probably get IIT Madras, or I can probably get IIT Roorkee or Hyderabad or NIT Trichy, or how do I choose between them, right? So firstly, we cannot answer this for you simply because IITs are sister IITs. So I cannot say this is better than that. It's the idea that one department is better than other department is not fair for both departments, right? It's like comparing apples and oranges. Naval architects build ships, and computer scientists will code. So it's difficult to say this is better or that is better. Now it so happens that because you have you're choosing, you're being allotted a seat based on your rank. It feels like this in when you're 17, 18, feels like this branch is better than that branch, but it's not really like that. Every branch is equal. Every branch has a lot of opportunities. You go look at the placement side. Every branch students have got great placements. So having said that, I don't have the team at here doesn't have that information about other IITs. So we don't know, what are the placement records of IIT Roorkee, or how many people in Bhubaneswar got computer science jobs, or how is the mechanical department at NIT Trichy. We don't know. The answer is we don't know. Whatever questions you ask us about IIT Madras, we can answer. And, like, you'll have to go and do some primary research for those courses and those colleges. If you send us an email on AskIITM.com, we might be able to give you links where you can read more. For example, there's a student who has asked, what is the scope of a particular branch in IIT Madras versus a scope of another branch in IIT Madras. So what we can do, if you ask us, is we can give you the links to the department websites where this is answered. Hi, Professor Anirudh.
Hi, how are you? Are you able to hear me?
We are able to hear you. Professor, we have about 260 participants. I think it was 300 earlier. There are about 366 open questions. So a lot of them are repeat questions. So it's okay. Professor, I will let you introduce yourself. I just want to also, before you take the stage, I want to just tell everyone else that Professor Anirudh is also an alumnus of IIT Madras. So he can answer questions as an alumnus and as a professor. The stage is yours, Professor.
Sure. Thanks. Thanks, Amritesh. So maybe I'll just give a couple of minutes of introduction to, I guess, IIT Madras, and maybe a little bit about my life as well at IIT Madras. So I spent 4 years here. Almost, I from 96 to 2000. So that's almost 23 years ago that I left campus. But then I came back about 12 years ago as a faculty member. And what I would say is IIT Madras, actually, so by the way, I also grew up on campus. So a lot of my life happened, on campus, so that I do have something special associated with the campus. What I would say is that, as a student, IIT Madras definitely, was my first choice for various reasons. I would say in terms of, in terms of academics, we have some really stellar faculty members here, stellar teachers, stellar faculty members for research and so on. And since the NIRF ranking started, IIT Madras has kind of sealed its place over several years as, the top place for engineering in India. And that, was evident even in the, 90s when I joined. As far as, my student life goes, life was actually quite, both in terms of academics and outside of academics, life was great as a student on campus. So we had some of the best teachers, starting from, the first few courses, basic sciences, mathematics, physics, chemistry, computer science. And, also I did my undergraduate in electrical engineering. at IIT Madras. So starting, everything from basic sciences to your first few courses, we had some of the stellar teachers from the previous generation teaching us. And as far as student life goes, the first thing you notice about IIT Madras is the greenery. So IIT Madras has a very specific, background in terms of, where it came from. So it was part of the Raj Bhavan forest. And even now, yes, go ahead, Amritesh.
Professor, I'm so sorry. We were so busy talking about academics. We have not even told them.
Okay, I see. Okay, so maybe this is a good time to introduce them to the history of IIT Madras. Actually, the way it worked, actually, IIT Madras was started as a great example of collaboration between central government, state government, and academics. So what happened is there were discussions going on between the central government and the state government at that time. The Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu at that time was a big proponent of IIT Madras, of the next IIT being in Madras at that time, Chennai now. And the governor was kind enough to allot land that was part of the governor's land, the Raj Bhavan land. So there is actually a Gindi National Park that is part of the Raj Bhavan forest, and IIT Madras was kind of carved out of that national forest. So it is one of the greenest areas in India for sure, but especially in Chennai, it is probably the largest or second largest patch of greenery. 80% of IIT Madras is still wooded, is still, has tree cover. In fact, there is a specific agreement originally, and also going forward, there is a policy decision that we will not be developing more than 20% of the land area of the IIT Madras campus for buildings and so on. So it is probably one of the greenest areas that you will find. And of course, so as part of student life, I'll tell you, when I joined IIT, I kind of took it for granted because, as I told you, I kind of grew up on campus. But I could see from talking to friends, right? For them, it was definitely a big deal coming into a kind of a secluded, wooded campus. So, Amritesh, I think you wanted to say something?
I wanted to ask you you must have visited other campuses. So I think I've not been to, but I've heard the Guwahati campus is also very pretty. But other than that, can you just say, is all IIT campuses like this, or is it just unique to IIT Madras?
So all IIT campuses, people have made specific efforts to keep the greenery alive, keep it growing, increase the green cover. But what I would say is that IIT Madras, because of its unique history, it is definitely special. The only other IITs that I know that have either as much green cover or a mandate to keep this going are, IIT Bombay, because it was carved out of forested area around Lake Powai. And of course, IIT Mandi, because it is in a pristine location in Himachal Pradesh. So these two campuses are definitely, in terms of trees, old growth trees, and trees specific to that ecosystem, I would say these three areas are special. Definitely all IITs are wooded. There are some IITs which are more wooded than others, and I would say IIT Madras is definitely among the top, or the top in this situation. IIT Guwahati is nice, but the kind of trees that you will find in IIT Madras, the kind of tree cover that you'll find is, I would say, uncommon even among IITs. And I'll just round out by talking about this last couple of lines about my student life. In terms of facilities, definitely during my student time, and I think now it's being developed, we have a world-class stadium right now with, with a synthetic track, which has recently been, built up. We have a world-class gymnasium. We have an Olympic swimming pool, which has been kept. It's a very old swimming pool. It has been around, for several decades, but it has been, renewed, right, and kept up to date with, the latest requirements. So as far as facilities go outside academics, I would say state-of-the-art facilities in all forms. We have a hockey stadium, we have a cricket stadium, we have an athletic stadium, we have, tennis courts, all those things outside academics are also, big attractions, I would say, from the student point of view. maybe I'll stop here because I tend to keep going on. My students tell me, I tend to keep going on. So maybe I'll stop here and I'll answer some questions in a more limited way.
What course do you take, Professor?
So, so maybe I'll give a little bit of background because it is necessary. There are the history of electrical engineering used to be such that you used to have what is called ECE, Electronics and Communication Engineering, and Electrical and Electronics Engineering. So there are, I guess if you go 50 years back, electrical engineering from a study point of view used to be segregated in these two forms. And even today, there are several universities, including some IITs, where they have separate departments. IIT Madras, very early on, they have had a single department because they understood the, I guess the synergy between these various areas of electrical engineering. They were a little bit forward looking. Even when they established the department, they did not establish multiple departments. They had a single department composed of a single set of faculty who would teach these two areas. So they did have two streams called ECE and EEE. And for the last about almost close to 30 years, we have had a single degree called electrical engineering. So I teach, in the electrical engineering department. So that's kind of the history of electrical engineering at IIT Madras. Now, a lot of universities have moved worldwide into offering a single degree. Now, in electrical engineering, I'll show it as an inverted pyramid. So I'm kind of in electrical engineering, I teach electronics. In electronics, I teach VLSI. In VLSI, I teach, the analog stream.
Professor, that's a lot of detail, and it's a great, I didn't know this, but I wish I would have asked you beforehand, but let me ask you now. A lot of questions come in, which are basically something like this. Should I choose EE in IIT Madras or ECE in Kharagpur? What is the difference between EE and EC? Similarly, for computer science, a lot of students ask, should I choose CS in IIT Madras or AI in IIT Hyderabad? How does one resolve this? I mean, I don't think students really are able to work this through on their own.
Sure. So it is all about the breadth versus depth that the institute portrays or in that degree or the student desires. So I would say these decisions, first of all, I'll say right at the beginning, these decisions should be taken on a case-by-case basis. I can tell you over the years, after I became a faculty member, many people have come to me asking for advice. The first thing I would tell them regarding, which branch to choose and so on. And I would say in a general sense, the first thing I would tell the parent is to let the students speak for themselves, because at the end of the day, it should be the student's choice. I understand the student may make it based on the parents' advice, teachers' advice, and so on. But at the end of the day, this is something which should intersect based on advice from, different people who know the area better and the student's interest. And the student's interest should be paramount because that informs, the students, interest in the subject going forward. Coming specifically to decision of branches, I would say, yes, definitely every branch of electrical engineering has a way forward. Every branch of engineering has a way forward, and that is specific to electrical engineering as well. Now, these things go around in cycles in many forms. If you see, ECE stands for Electronics and Communication Engineering, and a lot of it is related to modern electronics, studying of everything from devices to circuits to systems. So it's kind of going from depth to breadth and understanding every little detail of everything from building the components to the applications at the end. So communications would be an application. Now, in a modern sense, I would say these kind of segregation between ECE and EEE, etc., are breaking down in many ways, because you pick up an energy system. So let's say electric vehicles would be an example of an application of somebody who does electrical engineering or electrical and electronics engineering in its older sense. where they would be studying, machines, power systems. So basically larger, use of electrical engineering to deliver process power. But in today's world, there's a lot of electronics that goes into this because, every electrical power system has sensors that requires electronics. Every electrical system has, sensing, control, communication that is integrated into electrical systems today. Whether it is a power system, whether it is a, electrical vehicle, and so on. Similarly, if you take an electronic system, there is a lot of power delivery that goes on. You take your phone, you have to charge it. You need to build a charger that works out of 230 volts or 110 volts. You need to process that power. You need to deliver it with highest efficiency. So there is a lot of synergy that goes on, number one. And I would say I would look at electrical engineering as a broad area. And ECE is in some sense a situation where you're using processing information through electrical means. EEE is a situation where you're processing, power through electrical means.
So, Professor, this is a very specific answer, and I'm sure there's a similar answer for CS and AI.
Yes.
How does a student 17-year-old student, 18-year-old take this take this decision? And also, I want to ask you one more question because one parent asked it very differently. They asked us last week on Saturday, do companies which come to placement, do they differentiate between EE, ECE, and EEE?
Okay, so there are two parts. So now I'll answer the first question first. Now the question of AI versus CS, ECE versus EE, etc. Again, you need to look at the possibility for, I would say, what the scope for this area going forward. And that is where the advice from people in this area comes in. And what I would say is that let's compare AI and CS because you specifically, you said you got a specific question about this. Now, CS is actually, so it is all to do with breadth and depth. Now, CS is actually a very broad area. And AI is one specific area of computer science. So computer science can mean everything from, building computer hardware systems to information processing in computer systems, computer to computer communication, networking. It could mean cryptography to the security of computer systems. It could mean building a computer system from scratch, from electronics. And it could mean, at the higher level, building artificial intelligence using computers. So you should think of AI as a more specific focus area of study under the broad umbrella of computer science. Now, this AI also has overlap with other areas because computer science itself has other, applications in many other areas. And in fact, if you look at AI itself, AI has applications. Now, computer science is the study of how to build an AI system. AI itself, if you look at it as an applied field, it has application to almost any area of engineering and going forward, probably any area of our lives.
Yeah.
And it all depends on what the student is interested in, right? Maybe the student has an interest in AI by itself and application of AI, in which case I would suggest that the student, study AI. Now, having said that, there are certain aspects that the students should be informed when they make this choice. And one of the things I always tell students is to remember that, today you may be interested in AI as an application. But tomorrow, the intersection, the synergy between different areas keeps changing over time. And 20 years from now, right? So suppose you study computer science instead of AI, you will always have the option of choosing AI as a focused area of study as part of your computer science degree. Whereas the breadth that you learn is some knowledge that you earn that can be applied in a future sense, which, you don't have to, you will be forced to pick up if you just study AI as a focused area. So it is all about looking short-term versus long-term, depth versus breadth. And now, again, this is a decision which the student has to make for themselves. That is what I would like to emphasize. That is what I always say.
That's a lovely answer. And next time we will use this. We have been saying that it doesn't matter too much right now, and you can decide towards the end of your BTech degree.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, one other thing I'm sure you get questions saying, I get computer science here in this university versus, mechanical engineering or chemical engineering or civil engineering somewhere else. I have heard that, computer science has a lot of scope. Which should I choose? And now again, the same answer holds now if you just move a little bit, you kind of remove yourself one more step from the situation. The fact of the matter is, I look at my colleagues in other departments, in electrical engineering, and mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, and so on. They are looking at applications of AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning to their own areas, because we
Yes.
know they are looking forward and seeing that AI is going to have a huge impact in their areas. And so just because you are a chemical engineering or you're a chemical engineer or a civil engineer does not mean you will not get to study AI in its applied form. So that is something else to keep in mind for your for the people who are looking to make this decision.
Which is fair. I mean, AI in mechanical, AI in civil is also like very hot research areas.
Absolutely.
Professor, we spoke a lot about jobs and which companies come already before you came. Would like to ask you about your students who go abroad. Which universities do they go to? How do they go? You've also been a student, so what has your student experience of applying abroad been? I didn't go abroad, so maybe you can speak from your own experience also.
Sure. So first, I think I'll answer the first part of the question. What do companies look for? And what happens when students apply abroad? So I'll answer the first part. I think, for example, at IIT Madras, since we have had a unified degree for 25 years, the companies that come to IIT Madras do not make a distinction, right? Because they know that every student goes through a certain set curriculum that teaches them both the basics of ECE and EEE in their traditional forms. And the student gets to choose which area they want to specialize in. Now, there are other universities where they do have this distinction. And indeed, the type of companies that come for placement in those universities will make a distinction. Because like I told you, it is all about what you are using electrical engineering for. Are you processing electricity for information and communication or for energy? So the kind of companies naturally that come for these purposes will be different, right? If you are, an energy distribution company, if you are an electric vehicle company, and so on, you will want to come in and hire people who have studied, electrical machines, power systems, distribution, transmission, distribution, generation of power, and so on. Naturally, you do want those skills. I can't imagine a student who has, studied, for example, wireless communication. I can't imagine that they'll have the right background for electric vehicles. Right? So I can't imagine an electric vehicle company wanting to hire an ECE person to build an electric vehicle. Having said that, there are overlaps. If I am coming in to build circuits, for example, circuits is one of those areas. Devices and circuits are areas where there are overlaps, which is why the EEE has an electronics. It's electrical and electronics. So electronics happens to be one of those areas which has applications in both of these streams. You have power applications, you have information applications. Okay, so there will be a different set of companies, but there is some overlap. Now, coming to what these companies look for, and I will tell students, that the number one thing, whether it is applying abroad for universities or whether it is companies in a specific branch of engineering who are coming to hire you for that branch, the number one thing that they will want to know is how well you have performed in your undergrad. So I always tell students, concentrate on your studies first, because that does matter for companies that are looking to hire you for your skills in that area. Because if I'm an electronics engineer, the first thing those companies would do is look at my how well I have done, and they will test me on those as well. It's not that that's the only thing, but they will want to know. Similarly, if students are applying abroad, the first thing the professor there wants to know is how well have you done in your courses, in your labs, what you have done in your undergraduate projects, and so on. After that, the other things come in, maybe if you're applying for grad studies, maybe there is GRE, you might want to write if you're going to the US, and so on. Maybe the projects that you have done, give them a more specific idea as to what you have done in that area. And maybe other, activities as well. Now, I know that students, feel that extracurricular activities matter, and they do matter. They matter in a secondary sense. Companies, professors who, hire you from abroad want to make sure that you have a well-rounded curriculum. They want to make sure that you have hobbies outside of work. Nobody wants, at least in a general sense, nobody wants a person whose only passion in life is to do just exactly one thing, right? Because they know that these things matter in a larger life sense. They want happy employees. They want happy grad students, right? They want to make sure you have other hobbies, other interests as well, right? So those other things matter in a secondary sense, and they do matter. I hope that answers the question, Amritesh.
Yeah. So basically, to summarize, for a company that's looking for a very specific profile, it'll matter a lot what course you've done, which degree you've got. For somebody who's looking for a more generic profile, matter less.
That's correct.
For students who want to want to specialize very quickly, they should choose more specific choices. For students who want to delay that decision, they should pick a more generic course and then specialize later.
That's correct. So maybe I'll just add one more point. One last point I will add, because you asked a question about what skills. So companies make decisions on which branches they want to hire, students from which branches they want to hire, also based on the curriculum. Because let's assume I am a company that wants to hire students across a broad range of engineering departments. Now, what they will do is they will look at the curriculum and see what kind of skills are involved in the curriculum, and they'll make the decision based on that. Maybe they require certain mathematical skills, quantitative skills. Maybe they require some certain computer science skills. Maybe they require some material skills, and so on. So they will make decisions based on that as well.
Let's talk about students who opt to go abroad to study further, right? So how is that? I know that there is a lot of collaboration that happens in IIT, and there's an app system, there's an app group, and so on and so forth. Have you gone through that process yourself when you were a student?
Okay, that's a very good question. Yes, well, we did have a very organized way. About 25 years ago, when I applied to go abroad for my higher studies, there was a somewhat of an organized way of doing this, right? Now, at that time, there is actually a big tectonic shift, I would say, because when I was a student here, a majority of students, actually a large majority of students, would want to go abroad for their higher studies. There were two big.
I've heard that in the 90s, it was almost 90% of the class.
That's right. And especially in IIT Madras, there was a larger IIT Madras. If I remember right, IIT Madras and IIT Bombay were at the highest percentage-wise at that time. And, definitely at that time, there was a large number. Now that has come down to about 15 to 20% by latest reports from, when I talk to my graduating students, they tell me it's about 15 to 20%. And I would say in those days, because it was more organized, there was a lot of information. It was much easier to get this information, both from seniors as well as from, from our own peers. Now, students do, I see a lot more students approach me in my specific situation. My students who have taken undergraduate courses with me, or who have done grad courses with me, who have projects with me, they approach me. So there is a difference. And, but the second difference is that there is a lot more information that is available now on the internet. right, for students to reach out to. Now that comes with both, pluses and minuses. But I would say the big thing the students should be looking for when applying for grad studies, I would say there are two things they should look for. The number one thing is, as you go to higher studies, you tend to focus more. You kind of tend to go into more depth in one area. And this is probably one of the last few options in your studies for you to shift gears and move and have some options. Because as you tend to go to higher studies, you tend to get more specialized. And so it was not uncommon at all in my experience for, electrical engineers to become mathematicians, civil engineers to become computer scientists, and so on, right? I see those things becoming less common now, right? Students are specializing more. That is a big shift. And I would say students need to keep that in mind. But the options are much more, I would say, in today's, IIT Madras, the options for students to apply for grad studies are much more, right? There is less competition among students. So it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference for, students.
So this is quite curious. So I know that the number of students applying abroad has come down from 90% of the batch to 5% of the batch. There are more opportunities to apply abroad, but actually fewer students apply abroad. I'm guessing this is to do with the fact that India is doing better as a country and there are more jobs available in India. Okay, Professor, this was great. There are a lot of questions. They're very specific. I think we can take them. We won't hold you much longer. Thank you so much for joining us.
Sure, glad to kind of give my thoughts on these specific topics that you brought up.
Thank you, Professor. See you soon.
See you.
Bye.
Professor.
I was thinking, and I didn't say it when Professor was on campus, but he graduated in the 90s. I graduated in the 2000s, and you graduated in the 2010s. We are 10 years apart.
Technically, which is good.
Yes, which is great. And also, I realized that he is based out of Chennai. I'm based out of Bangalore, and you're based out of Kochi. So we are also like quite diverse here.
All right. We should cover a few questions about hostels and culturals.
Yeah. So let's go from, so there are still 361 questions open. I think a lot of them are the same students asking me. Thank you. Can we go on weekends outside campus? IIT Madras is unique in the fact that there are no curfews for any students. You can go out anytime you want. There are no curfews for the women also.
Yeah, in your first semester, in your first year on campus, for the first month of the semester, you will have a 10 p.m. curfew, but after that first month, it's just for an adjustment period. After that, then you will have no curfew whatsoever. But if you are going out of campus for more than a few days, you will be asked to make a note in the register.
What is the difference between computer science and engineering and mathematics and computing? Freya has asked this question like 5 times, so I will answer it. The difference between the computer science and engineering is the name of the department, which offers a CSE degree. And also, I think the mathematics and computing is the IDDD, right?
The minor.
Is the minor, right? Is the minor. So the CSE BTech will have their usual 430 credits, which you'll have to complete. The mathematics and computing minor will have about 4 courses, which you'll have to complete. I hope that is clear, but if it's not, just ask the question again on AskIITM.com, and we'll give you a more detailed answer with links. Okay, a lot of questions are about the BS Data Science online degree. Now, I would love to answer those questions, but we want to keep them for the end because we know that JoSAA counseling starts now, like it's going on now. And the BTech students are really stressed about completing it on time and getting as much information as possible. So we want to answer those BTech questions as on urgency. Can BTech in mechanical with AI as elective possible in IIT Madras? Answer is yes. Kiran, I will answer the academic questions. Why don't you start talking about how life in IIT Madras actually is? Meanwhile, I'll dig out some pictures.
All right. What do I start with? Let's start with hostels. Okay. So we have, I think, 16 boys hostels and 6 girls hostels right now. All of our hostels are named after rivers. So a few of the hostels are Kaveri, Mandagini, Sharavati, Swarnamukhi, Sabarmati. These are just a few of the hostels. And we have a lot of students, obviously. And the freshie hostels, that is the hostel that all undergraduate students will be staying in, is Mandagini for boys and Swarnamukhi for girls. Both are either double or triple sharing rooms in your first year. In your second year, you'll be moved to another hostel where you will share another double sharing room. And from your third year onwards, you can get single rooms. The hostels are very well equipped. Some are slightly older, but that they're still very well maintained, and that hostels will be cleaned every day. And there's a lot of facilities within the hostels, including basketball courts, badminton courts, libraries, music rooms, and several very big dump rooms for when you have to leave your luggage before and after you go or come back from campus. Moving on from hostels to mess and food, we have 3 main mess blocks. These, like how hostels are named after rivers, all our mess blocks are named after mountains. So we have Himalaya, Nilgiri, and Vindhya. These all together host around, I think, 15 to 16, and some around 3, and 7. Yeah, around 14 or 15 messes. And they serve a wide variety of food. We have North Indian messes, South Indian messes, Jain messes, food courts, where you can choose the menu, and so on. A lot of variety in food within the mess system. Apart from messes, we also have several eateries within campus. We have a Zaitun, which offers, again, a vast variety of food. We have several smaller eateries. We have small cafes. We even have a cafe coffee day within campus, and subsidized pricing, which is usually a great thing for students on a certain restricted amount of money. And that is for food. Again, this is just within campus. Outside in Chennai as such, there's a lot of variety. There's so much to do. There's so many beaches, and all students sort of visit the beaches at some point in their life. So that's great. And apart from food and hostels, talking about cultural and technical activities and clubs that you can do, our cultural club, like the confluence of all of the cultural clubs within campus, come underneath the banner of Sangam. So these includes clubs from, say, debate, writing, dance, fashion. We have so many clubs. Everything is an option. Oratory, comedy, drama, chess,
fine arts,
video games. So many clubs. There's not the dearth of clubs. You can join anything that you want. There is no restriction on the amount of clubs you can join as well.
Because you mentioned this, there's a club called IITM TV, and Ask IITM, that is the people who organize this event, works with some of the students in Ask IITM TV, and this year we have put out a lot of videos about IIT Madras. I'm sharing my screen, and maybe we can play 1 or 2 videos and also show you how to find these videos. So if you go to YouTube and search for Ask IITM, you will come to our channel. This is our channel, and there are...
How many unicorns are from...
Sorry, hold on. There are about 170 videos. All the videos are about 1 minute, 2 minutes, and so on. So if you go to playlist, they've already been organized. So there is stuff on co-curricular, first year life, placements, international stories for those who are looking at SEMEX stuff, academics, IDDD. There is a set of 10 videos which talk about IIT broadly. Let's watch some of these videos, and then Kiran, maybe you can sort of elaborate on some of this.
All right.
Life at IIT Madras, the basics. All JEE aspirants and their parents want to know one thing about IIT Madras. What is it like living on campus? Located in Chennai, IIT Madras wanders the Gindi National Park. It is a beautiful and green campus with diverse wildlife. To get around the large 600-acre campus, there's a free bus system. Students also enjoy walking or cycling through campus. There are 21 hostels on campus, with 6 for girls and the rest for boys. Students get sharing rooms in their first year. From the second year onwards, they can choose between single, double or triple rooms. No matter which room you stay in, they're all roomy and comfortable. IIT Madras also offers a great variety in food. Several messes serve North Indian, South Indian and Jain food. Cafes, restaurants on campus also offer various cuisines to hungry students. You can also buy groceries and daily use items from convenience stores across campus. IIT Madras is so big and well equipped that it feels like a city within a city. But do not fret, all that you need to live and study is available here. All we need you to do is come, build at IITM, build for the world.
So I think there was a shot of a black buck and we still haven't told them of black bucks. So you want to start there?
Yeah, so I think our professor covered this as well.
Today, let's talk about
forested. And there's a lot of wildlife on campus. So you will be seeing monkeys, deers, and black bucks, which is an endangered species, on campus everywhere. It is a sight no other student can see with such regularity. You'll be going to class and then you'll see a monkey sitting outside and also watching the class that you're attending. So there's a lot of animals on campus, and in say your 4 or 5 years, you get used to this, used to seeing so many of them everywhere, that it's only when an outsider comes into campus that you're like, oh, this is special. This is something that is so special to IIT Madras. But it's a beautiful feature of campus, and it's very nice to see animals and people sort of exist in such harmony.
These introduction videos, the 10 introduction videos, the first one that I played, they're also available in Tamil, Telugu and Hindi. I'm not sure if Hindi is linked here, but we'll make that happen. So if you are talking to a friend who is not comfortable in English, or you're talking to a family member who wants to listen to the same thing in English, Tamil or Telugu, just show them the website. Oh no, did it happen again?
A student just pointed out that you have not subscribed to the AskIITM channel.
Kiran, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. Okay, so we'll just go through some of these videos. This is on sports.
IIT Madras is known for its academic excellence, but did you know that it has a thriving sports scene as well? The IIT Madras campus boasts top-notch facilities including an Olympic standard swimming pool, a weightlifting arena, a table tennis facility, a skating rink, and a well-equipped gym. There are several sports grounds such as the IIT Kemplas ground, Manohar C. Vatsa Stadium, tennis and badminton courts, cricket, hockey and football fields. Within IITM, you can compete for the Dean's Trophy in the Inter-Hostel Sports Schroiter. You should also know about the sporting culture between the IITs. The Inter-IIT Sports Meet is the annual sports tournament of the IITs and the biggest and oldest pan-IIT event with 2 events, the Aquatics Meet in October and the main meet in December. IIT Madras takes a lot of pride in having the leading number of wins in Inter-IIT sports meets. Students fear that coming to such a prestigious campus means leaving behind their extracurricular activities. But IIT Madras allows you to build all your interests, from learning a new sport in your first semester to participating in an all-India level competition. So build in IIT Madras, build for the world.
I think, Kiran, you and I are not very athletic or sporty people. I don't know.
Hey, but I do take walks in Vatsa when it's like in the evening.
Okay. And I was in tennis for a year.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah, there's options for anything. We have indoor squash, like courts. We have a aerobics/yoga space. We have a dance thing, I think. We have a gym, like a weightlifting, everything available. We have courts for football, hockey, tennis, badminton, volleyball. What other sport is there? Basketball, yes. Swimming, obviously. Professor Anirudh talked about the Olympic-sized swimming pool. It's beautiful. And we have a very good athletics stadium, that is the Manohar C. Vatsa stadium. Then we have a cricket ground, the Kemplas ground. It's called the K.S. Narayan Center for Cricketing Excellence. That is a beautiful cricket ground. We have everything that a student would want. We'll have it on campus. We'll have a venue for it on campus. We even have a roller skating rink actually.
Okay. So I'm going to play one more video now on how is the campus.
Let's talk about the IIT Madras campus. Huge, lush and eventful, this 617-acre campus borders the Gindi National Park and lies in the heart of Chennai. Outside, it's well connected by trains and buses to the bustling city. Inside, you would hardly believe you're in the city. A reliable bus system or a nice stroll can take you through the institute to the Gajendra Circle or GC, the central landmark inside IIT Madras. This beautifully green campus is home to almost 300 species of trees and plants and many animals, from deers to monkeys to birds to reptiles. And of course, the rare and beautiful antelope, the black buck. There are many sights you must not miss when in IITM. The open air theatre or OAT that lies between GC.
What is happening? I'm sharing the wrong screen, is it?
Yeah.
Why did you tell me earlier?
I was answering the question.
Lush and eventful,
just before
this 617-acre campus borders the Gindi National Park and lies in the heart of Chennai. Outside, it's well connected by trains and buses to the bustling city. Inside, you would hardly believe you're in the city. A reliable bus system or a nice stroll can take you through the institute to the Gajendra Circle or GC, the central landmark inside IIT Madras. This beautifully green campus is home to almost 300 species of trees and plants and many animals, from deers to monkeys to birds to reptiles. And of course, the rare and beautiful antelope, the black buck. There are many sights you must not miss when in IITM. The open air theatre or OAT that lies between GC and the student hostel zone, Himalaya, the massive building made up of various messes, and of course, the various department and academic buildings where students have their classes. With so much to see comes so many opportunities to explore. So come, build at IIT Madras, build for the world. No, you need not know Tamil.
Just before we move on to the next video, I'll just like to talk about NSO, NSS, NCA, and NCC. So in your first year, along with your curriculum, you'll have to do a few co-curricular activities. This is either NSS, NSO, NCA, and NCC. NSO is it's National Social Service. No, that's NSS. NSS is National Social Service thing, where you'll have to choose a program that services the community. NSO is the sports option, NCA is the culturals option, and NCC is of course career training. All right, within this, and each first year student will have to choose one of these and complete it. It's a pass-fail course. I chose NSS. I was in something called Shravyam, Project Shravyam, where we recorded audiobooks for the visually challenged. Similarly, there's a lot of other options within NSS as such. In NSO, you can choose a sport, any sport, volleyball, basketball, tennis, lots of options there again. In NCA, it's a cultural activity, some sort of skill like drawing, music, dance, again, several options within it. NCC is the cadet training thing. So one of these each student will have to do. And I wanted to talk about this because we received a question saying, are there sports coaches in IIT Madras? So yes, for NSO in particular, you have coaches available training you all throughout first year. And depending on the skill level that you sort of display during your first year, you can apply to be part of the sports contingents, which is our competitive teams in the various sports. Contingents play regularly, go for competitions, and especially compete in the inter-IIT sports competition, which is when all the IITs sort of join together and have a huge event, huge competition, and it's great honor to bring back ups from inter-IIT. And this is there for sports, it's there for culturals, and we even have a staff inter-IIT, which is something I've learned very recently.
Inter-IIT is a big deal, and the sports inter-IIT is at least 30 years old. I don't know if it was there before, but yeah, it's really old. So some of the questions that have come up that are curious and are connected, do we have air conditioning in hostel? No, but you have air conditioning in some of the departments, in some of the labs. We have not even started with Center for Innovation, so we'll spend some time on that. But I want to tell you that because IITM is within a forested area, it's about 2 to 4 degrees cooler than the rest of Chennai. But Chennai is hot, like is Bombay, like is Kochi, like is Calcutta, like is Delhi. So we have to live with that. But it's a little cooler than outside Chennai. Hope that answers.
Ragging in IIT Madras.
Sorry?
A question saying is ragging there in IIT Madras. No, as a student, I can tell you nothing happens.
The maximum your seniors might ask you is to maybe sing a song or.
Yeah, I got asked to sing a song. They heard me start singing and they were like, "No, it's fine. You can stop. It's okay."
I think everybody is too busy to rag anyone. Yeah. So, so some of you have asked whether we'll share the recording of this. Yes, we will share the recording of this. We'll try to put it on YouTube. I'm not sure how fast we can do it, but we'll try to do it by tomorrow. Then facility for transportation within campus. This is answered already. Bus and cycle is what students use. The bus is free. You can hop on, hop off. It comes every 20 minutes, 10 minutes during class hours, I think.
Walking is always an option, and a lot of students opt to walk as well.
First year, people don't walk. Second year onwards, they walk.
Yeah.
When do classes start and how long does it last? Usually classes start at 8. So the timetable is divided into slots. So A slot is the 8 o'clock slot. B slot is the 9 o'clock slot. C slot is the 10 o'clock slot, and so on. You may have a course in A slot, which means you will have 8 a.m. classes. Or you may have a 8 a.m. on Monday, 8 a.m. on Tuesday, 8 a.m. on Wednesday, or something like that.
It's rarely continuous. So depending on the courses that you can take. So sometimes you might have A, B, and C slots, but no D, which means your Monday morning 11 a.m. slot will be free. Sometimes you will have a lot of afternoon classes, not a lot of morning classes. So again, it depends. And there's no continuous class from say 9 to 5, nothing like that.
And by the way, you have to move from classroom to classroom. So it's not like your professor will come to you. You will have to go to the classroom where it's being held. In first year, maybe they're all together, but second year onwards, you have to go from classroom to classroom. Usually classes are done by 2 o'clock or so. Maybe in the first year, you'll have some workshops which will go on later, or lab classes which will go on till later. But usually they're done by 2 p.m. As you progress in your years, the amount of classes start reducing. So in my final semester, that my last 6 months, my last 4 months at IIT, I had 1 class with 1 hour lecture per week. That's it. So I just went to 1 class.
I didn't have any classes.
You didn't have any classes. That's because
yeah.
So for those of you who find this surprising, that's because we had already finished our credit requirement. So we're just waiting for, IIT to kindly kick us out of campus. Great. So we've answered a bunch of questions. I know there are a lot of questions, but we want to talk about.
Also, cycles are not provided to students usually. Usually students buy their cycles, and you will be using it for like 4 or 5 years. So it's worth it to buy a cycle.
Okay, great. So let's go on to the non-academic, non-placement side of life. Kiran spoke to you about how the campus is organized. There are lots of co-curricular and extracurricular activities. We'll talk about the co-curricular activities first, also because it links up to the startup culture at IIT Madras. Some of you might have heard that there are a lot of deep tech startups from IIT Madras, including Aether Energy. And some of you who have watched Shark Tank must have seen some of the IIT Madras startups presenting on Shark Tank, usually with a machine or with some kind of a deep technology. So students at IIT Madras have this facility called CFI, Center for Innovation. It's a facility that's unique to IIT Madras, not there in other IITs. Maybe in a smaller way in other IITs. But in IIT Madras, it's a huge facility, 4-floor building only for Center for Innovation. Center for Innovation is a space where students can come in and tinker around, play around with machines, with stuff that they want to try and build and so on. Again, in CFI, there are clubs. So there's an AI club, there's a vehicles club, there's a racing club, there's a rocketry club, and so on. The students in these clubs may either work on some unique project or they may be participating in an international competition. So last month, for example, some students were building a solar powered car, autonomous car, which can go from one end of Australia to another end of Australia for a competition where all participants have to do this. So IIT gives you this facility almost from first year to fourth year, almost 1,000 odd students take part in CFI activities. This is a great way for students to learn how to build on their own. Some of these projects also require financing, so they have to go and find out where to raise funds from. They have to build business plans. So it's a great way for students to learn and build very as early as first year. So a lot of first year students you'll see, trying to build a car or trying to build a autonomous vehicle or a rocket or something like that. Most famously, Ather Energy's co-founders, Tarun and Swapnil, were part of the CFI Racing Club, the Raftar Club. It's a 12-year-old club, and they speak about it often. If you go to Ather's own website and look at their videos, sometimes they have spoken about the Center for Innovation and the time they had spent there and how it influenced them as students. So there are a lot of videos on Center for Innovation. Again, two things you can do. You can come to AskIITM.com.
Let's talk about the
Sorry.
Today, let's talk about life.
Kiran, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
How many unicorns are
So I think you can, okay, good.
So I'll start by ice breaking the fact that we don't just print stuff, we also make printers.
So there are set of videos about CFI. It's like very unique.
When I
Very
was
unique to
in my first
IIT
year,
Madras.
I used to do 3D
One
modeling.
here is talking about the 3D printing club. Then there is the Abhiyan
The
club.
hands-on experience you get from being in any team from Center for Innovation.
Then there's the Agnirath club.
I don't think any of us had any expectation from this team. We just wanted to really do this, and that was the most fun that I ever had.
There's the Raftar club, which is
So Team Raftar has been there for a very long time. We're the oldest team in Center for Innovation.
Let's watch this.
Yeah, so I'm Harish. I'm an electrical engineering student at IIT Madras, third year, and I'm currently a part of the core team of Team Raftar. We have been building both combustion and electric race cars, and we hold the world record for fuel efficiency as well. We take the race cars that we build and then we represent IIT Madras and India in international competitions. And the first thing that we do is we design the entire car. So every single thing that goes into the car is being simulated before in a very proper setup, and then only then it is being put into the car. And once we finish the design phase, we start with the frame building. We cut the tubes ourselves. We literally build the entire frame, the entire chassis ourselves. And then parallelly powertrain test benching starts, and we test all of the powertrain components. And about who all are involved in this, obviously the students that we put all of our efforts into this and build, but definitely it would not be possible without the help of three main people. One is the academia support. We have Professor Kamakoti, Professor Satya, Professor Arvind, all of them helping us in building the car. And then the other side comes from the industry, where they help us with in-kind components like Bosch, Ather, all of them. And then comes the third important side of alumni. They help us a lot in mentorship as well as giving us space to work on all of this. Most important thing that I felt that have changed in me is my character. And first, when I joined Raftar, I was very unsure of what to do in life and how to go about things in real life, what all challenges that I faced. But after being in the team for 3 years, I've gone through so much of both dealing with people and then dealing with companies, as well as working in technology, working in cool stuff, facing pressure. This has changed my character a lot, and I'm very confident in life that I'd go out and then do something really great for the society. And anyone who would want to do something successful in life would have to go through this character change. That's the most important thing. And I feel IIT Madras has the best ecosystem for all kinds of help you need to do anything in life, and Raftar is one of the greatest place to be in. I can personally feel it. It has become so much in my blood that I don't even go to classes and just spend my entire time in Center for Innovation.
Maybe
That's how
we should
much
edit
I'm inspired by Raftar.
So there are more clubs, and there are about 15 videos we have made in this. There's the programming club, the AI club, WebOps club, right? And whenever you have the time, you can go through all of them. And of course, you can drop more questions about CFI either here or at AskIITM.
I don't think any
CFI was started as an alumni initiative, as a place where students can work without professors being there. So everything he was saying, professors come here, there. They come when they're asked to come. Otherwise, everything is student run. The machining, the welding, the simulation, everything is student run. So unless they want help, if they want help, they will ask for it. So many times what happens in IIT Madras is that students who are working in CFI come up with an idea or a thought that, this is a good idea. Let me try to see if I can build a prototype and maybe I can build a startup. So then if they are at that position where they think that they can possibly build a company, they go to the next, from CFI, they go to Nirmaan. In the IIT Madras entrepreneurship stack, there are 3 pillars. There's CFI, then there's Nirmaan. In Nirmaan, students sometimes get a small funding, not always, but sometimes they get a small funding so that they can try to take their idea and come up with a prototype and maybe a rough business plan. They're given some training so that maybe they can head towards building a company and, building a startup of their own. And last pillar in that entrepreneurship stack is the incubation cell. Right next to IIT Madras is the IIT Madras Research Park, which is a large facility where companies who collaborate with IIT can set up offices. If you're familiar with Chennai, it's near Tidal Park on the back side. So it's on the OMR side of things. The IIT Madras Research Park hosts the incubation cell. If IIT Madras students want to start up, they can approach the incubation cell, get a space, get a small seed funding, get access to resources, and so on. In the last 10 years, 300 startups in deep tech have been incubated in IIT Madras. Some of them are very famous, like Ether Energy. Some of them are less famous because they're in deep tech and they're not advertising in IPL, so maybe we have not heard about it. But students on campus will be aware that, okay, there's this startup which is trying to build a vertical plane called E-plane. There are a bunch of startups which are building rockets that take 3D printed rockets to space, and so on. But the most famous startup, of course, is Ether. Okay, so that's about CFI, Nirmaan, and incubation cell. If you have questions regarding that, again, if you're able to ask here and we are able to answer, otherwise you can ask in AskIITM.com. Some of the questions that you have asked, we have spoken about clubs. In cultural clubs, we have spoken about clubs for academic affairs. And I think Professor also spoke about clubs that are made to apply abroad. So I want to tell you, and maybe Kiran can also add, that these are not clubs that are formed by IIT. These are clubs that are formed by students. A bunch of students get together and say, we want to come together and form this club. Sometimes in that endeavor, they need funding. So they have to go and ask IIT saying, can you give us a space? Can you give us some money? And sometimes those clubs exist for years. So Raftar, as you heard, is an old club. And students come in and go out on their own. So is there a club for this? Is there a club for that? If there is not a club, you will have the opportunity to start it. Kiran, would you like to add?
Not anything particular, but just saying, this is an option that extends to both co-curricular and extracurricular activities. If it doesn't exist in IIT, and it probably does already exist, but if it doesn't, you can go ahead and make it. Meaning you can also call yourself the founder of so-and-so club in IIT Madras.
In fact, I was talking to that founder of that solar club who was on that video. Na? He told me that because all the other clubs were sort of full, he was looking to start something new. So they actually formed that solar vehicle club like literally 1.5 years back after the pandemic. And now they're going to Australia. I mean, I don't know if they've got the funding, but if they get the funding, they'll all go.
Maybe you should talk about your personal connection with CFI.
When I was a student, CFI was not available to us, and it started in 2008. And I was one of the first batches where we started talking about CFI and we started preparing for CFI. So I was part of the team that built this facility. So and this is something that students at IIT Madras are very well aware of. Even the facility of CFI is student built. It was built by a student team, which got a project approval, which had a funding, and the student team put together the plan, went to the administration, said, hey, we want to build this. The administration said, you can put this here. We'll appoint a faculty advisor for you and a commercial advisor for you. So we did it in that scope. So a lot of the work in IIT Madras, again and again, you'll hear this, very student driven. It's a culture that's built over 60 years, sorry. We are all very proud of it.
This is true in the case of the fests as well. Both the cultural and technical fest. The cultural fest is Sarang and the technical fest is Shastra. Both of these are student run as well. And Sarang is in fact the largest student run or fest in India. So we get a huge footfall, around 50,000 people or so. And a few questions I saw talking about the fest. It's great. We organize a lot of events, pro shows, which is where we invite guests to come perform, to speak. A few people that we have had include KK, Sunidhi Chauhan, a lot of artists, both national and international artists, we invite to come perform for these fests.
Kiran, I have this story that one of our professors used to say that A.R. Rahman performed in IIT Madras Sarang when he was 12 years old. Because he was a child prodigy.
We've had some bands, I think I'm not sure about this, but some bands that performed at the competitive event in Sarang came back to perform as a act. I think it was when Chai Met Toast. I'm not sure about it, but certain bands.
Yeah, so Sarang was online for 2 years because of the pandemic. So it's back physical. This year was physical, and next year will also be physical. It usually happens in Jan. First Shastra, then Sarang. Those of you who are familiar with Chennai will already know this. December, January, February, till about February 15, very pleasant months in Chennai. Chennai gets the returning monsoon and it doesn't get a very, very severe winter. So it's very pleasant. So Sarang time, best place, best time to be on campus. Lots of young students, lots of energy. I will try and pick up some videos on Sarang. Meanwhile, can you answer some other questions?
All right, let me take a look. Oh, joining clubs.
Sorry.
Joining clubs, completely voluntary. All of these are voluntary. In first year, students join a lot of clubs to just explore their options, figure out what they like best. In your second and third year, you sort of like narrow it down to a few clubs that you really like. And then there's options to participate in the management of these clubs as well. You can apply to become a coordinator, a core, a super coordinator, the head of the club, convener. A lot of positions are open within clubs as well. But again, completely voluntary. So there's no joining process as such. There's anything else. Wait.
Some clubs might have a joining process, huh? Like if it's a technical club, you might
Some
have,
technical clubs do.
uh,
What was the question that you wanted to answer, like?
I don't know.
Oh, gaming club. Yeah, I think we already have an esports club. Yeah, that is a thing.
This is a very interesting question. Are elections done in IIT Madras? So the answer is yes. There are about some general secretary. So there's a general secretary. There's an academic affairs secretary who takes care of placement and academic stuff. There's a research affairs secretary. There's a sports secretary. I can't remember all the secretaries, but there are about 8, 9.
Literary secretary
There's a
for
literary
academic and culturals. Yeah.
Then there's a SAC speaker. These are there is massive campaigning during those election months. All the students will go around. We're not, because it's a protected forest, we're not allowed to put posters, we're not allowed to litter, so those things are not done. But there's a lot of online activity, there's a lot of campaigning, there are speeches that the students give and so on.
And we also have hostel elections for posts within hostels. We have a general secretary, we have a health and hygiene secretary, a lot of social secretary for inter-hostel competitions to organize all of that. So it's both at a hostel level and it's both at a college level.
Somebody's asked, maybe there's some questions about IIT Bombay. So quickly want to answer some questions about IIT Bombay. First of all, I don't know all details about IIT Bombay. So, I mean, that I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Few things I know. The fest at IIT Bombay is partly professionally organized. It's not completely organized by students at all. So that's why when we say IIT Sarang is the largest student organized fest, we are not counting IIT Bombay because it's not fully student organized. So that's one. Somebody has asked about if IIT Madras is being ranked #1 every year, why do top rankers choose to join IIT Bombay? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. As far as objective parameters like placements, etc., is concerned, IIT Bombay and IIT Madras, IIT Delhi, they're all the same. Some, some campuses may be a little better in some field. Maybe there's a research area where IIT Bombay is better, or there's a research area where IIT Madras is better. But overall, all the 3 top IITs are great places to be. I have been to the IIT Bombay campus. My brother went to IIT Kharagpur, and I have an uncle who went to IIT Delhi. So, like very hard for me to choose between these and say, oh, this is better than that. Having said that, the NIRF ranking system is a complex system, which, and if you've gone through the NIRF website, it actually gives you all this data, but it's difficult to read. So what we have done is, we have added a section called on NIRF. Sorry. We've added a section on NIRF where you can just see why is IIT Madras getting that NIRF ranking, and what are the things that go into that ranking. So NIRF basically looks at 5 factors: teaching, learning resources, research and professional practice, graduation outcomes, outreach and inclusivity, and perception. So on these 5, every IIT is ranked differently. So here's the score for this year, right? So Madras are 87.5, Bombay is at 82.5, and so on. Whereas when students join, they may not be looking at all of this. They may be looking only at graduation outcome, or they may be looking at inclusivity. For example, in inclusivity, a lot of students really want to be on an inclusive campus. Inclusivity means what? There's a lot of regional diversity. There are students from every state, or there are a lot of women on campus, which is important for women students. There are students from a social background with a marginalized background. So all of these factors are considered together. So OI, for overall inclusivity, Madras scores very high. And similarly, so outcomes will look at jobs, perception will look at feedback from other people, and so on. So, I'm very glad that IIT Madras is getting the rank 1, and very happy that this year also we got the rank 1. But it doesn't mean that this IIT is better than that IIT in a very, they're all neck to neck. All the top 7 IITs, maybe the top 15 ranks in NIRF, they're all neck to neck. It's not a huge difference. So yeah, that's more or less it. If you feel that there is a course in IIT Bombay that's better for you, you should join there. If you feel that there's a course in IIT Madras that's better for you, you join here. That's it. I don't know how much information IIT Bombay is giving about placements, but usually the websites are updated. Somebody had earlier asked that how come the IIT Madras website is still showing 2019 data, 2018 data. In those cases, it's likely that there has been no update. So the BTech curriculum, for example, in 2019 to now, there's no update. So you can imagine that those are the updated information. But you have, when you join IITM, you'll spend 4 years, 5 years. So some things might change during those years. So yeah, won't be able to tell you which IIT is better, but I know it in my mind. Before joining in clubs, will you have time to discuss with seniors? Yeah, you'll have a lot of time. There's some questions about preparatory course. Kiran, do you have those answers? Do we have those answers ready?
Not as such, but we will have a proper article up on AskIITM soon. Detailing.
So questions on preparatory courses, please ask on IITM, AskIITM.com, and we'll answer.
Out of the authorities and get back to you with very specific answers on all that you need.
Can a student switch from dual ED to CS BTech? Yes. Answer is yes. Through branch change. Through branch change process, it is quite hard. I think in the beginning, around 11 o'clock, we spoke about branch change. But if you have missed that answer, just shoot it to us on AskIITM.com and we'll answer again.
And also, we have a lot of articles on branch change available if you want to read through solution articles.
When will the sessions begin? We are expecting in the first week of August, not very sure. Last year, the courses began very late because the pandemic completely screwed up the schedule. You might already know JoSAA was only in September and students came to campus in November. Is there an exit option for the 5-year course after 4 years?
No, not unless you change your degree after your first year. So if you are in a dual degree program, you cannot exit with a BTech alone.
How are the fests at IITM? I think Kiran has given you some answers. If you can ask this on Ask IITM, we'll send you some links.
Can you share the Sarang After movie also link if you have it?
I don't have it. If you have the link, can you share it?
Let me see.
Somebody is asking, is there fun in college? Asked you 5 times. Yes. If I think about my time at IIT Madras, this studying was maybe only about 50% of the time, or maybe even less, maybe 30% of the time. It's a residential college, means you are staying there. So you have 24 hours in a day. Not possible to really study all the time. So you make friends, you do this thing, you do that thing, you travel around. Yes, lots of fun. And there are no restrictions on where you can go and when you can come back. So what is the scope of the engineering design stream? I'm going to say, if you can ask on AskIITM.com, we will send you specific links. The scope in general is very high. Engineering design is a specific, you can say it's a specific part of engineering where you're looking at design of objects. Lot of companies today are looking for engineering designers as opposed to graphic designers or product designers. So some of my friends who were from engineering design, a lot of them joined Aether. One of my close friends who was with me in hostel, he works for for a medical company, they make devices. He's, designing devices for eye care and so on. So yeah, a lot of scope. But if you want a more specific answer, send us a question on Ask IITM and we will answer it. Who funds the first year students to do startups? Some funds are available from the club budget. Some funds are available from IIT itself. Sometimes they have to raise funds on their own from alumni or from projects. But also I want to tell you that IIT makes a lot of things free. So space, for example, a startup needs space. IIT, it's free. A startup in deep tech may need access to journals, to softwares, and sometimes these softwares are very expensive. But if you're in IIT, you get it free. For example, some of you have used Grammarly. IIT students have Grammarly free. That's it. You just have to be a student and you get it. I mean, I'm giving you an example, but it's true of other scientific startups also. So the cost of starting up is much lower. Kiran, you are on mute. Can you unmute yourself?
I am unmuting, it's just very slow. We also have publications to a lot of journals that you will require throughout your undergrad. So journals like SagePub, any of these research journals that you want access to, you will get.
Is there a Tamil regional club? I'm not sure, but there's definitely a Bengali society. There's an Odia society.
There's a Kerala society, there's a Marathi society, there's a Northeast thing.
I remember the Malayali society because they give food on Onam.
Yeah, most clubs organize some sort of festival and conduct regular events. So if you're feeling particularly homesick, and I guess for Tamil students, it's not that big of a deal because you can simply go home. Yeah. But I don't know if there's a Tamil society. I don't think there is one, but you can always start one if you want.
Is chemical engineering not suitable for students having health issues like asthma? I'd like to take some time on this. I understand that when you are thinking of chemical engineering, you are thinking of chemicals, you're thinking of chemistry, you remember your lab environment, but actually in engineering, this is true of all fields of engineering. There are some people who have to work on the factory floor. There are some engineers who will have to work in a factory or in a lab, but a lot of the chemical engineers work in an AC office, overseeing something or simulating something on a computer. So if you are a chemical engineer and you have been placed in, say, a Reliance chemical engineering plant, maybe there'll be some issue, but not as much as you think it is. In India, because our cities are so polluted, just living in a city like Delhi is more dangerous than being a chemical engineer. And same about Bangalore, also very polluted in terms of air quality. So the answer is no, your asthma won't affect you.
We have a question saying, I have heard rumors that colleges in the South are kind of very strict with boys and girls interacting much. Is that true for IIT Madras? No, it is not. We don't exactly enforce any sort of gender binary behavior. There is no compulsion. I mean, you don't have to talk to other people if you don't want to, but it's encouraged to like bond and make friends with people of every gender.
It's true of Chennai though. A lot of Chennai colleges are very restrictive. So all the Chennai college students are very jealous of IIT Madras because they don't get the freedom that we get. Is there any prerequisites that you have to study before joining IIT? Please don't. Enjoy your last few weeks at home. Be with your friends and your family. Once you join, there'll be lots to study.
Yeah, and everything that you need for that transition period will be covered in your first year.
Let me go back to my presentation. So just to let you know that there are about 400 open questions. We won't be able to answer all of them. It's very clear. A lot of the questions are quite similar to each other. So we are going through and seeing which ones are absolutely new. We have answered about 155 questions. We'll try to answer some more, but before that, let me just go and towards the other slides in my presentation. In our presentation, sorry about that. Great. So I think we were here, right? So outcomes, which is what do you do after IIT? There are three kinds of outcomes. One is jobs. Second is research. Research either within IIT or other IITs in India or ISC, or some students travel abroad and study in universities abroad. Then the other set of outcomes are about startups, MBA, and civil services. Some people take a break here and so on. I want to talk a little bit about research, the applying abroad track, which is students who have finished IIT Madras, how do they apply abroad? So this process in IIT is called apping, APPING, which is short for applying. When Professor was with us, Professor Anirudh, when he was with us, he was also talking about this. Students form groups, they collaborate with each other. There's a lot of research that has to be done. You have to keep looking at every university. You have to see which departments are accepting students, which departments are doing what kind of research, and you have to apply specifically. So for example, if you have studied, if you want to do research in battery technology, then you have to start looking at which universities are battery engineering or battery science departments, which universities, which of them have what grade point requirement, and so on. A lot of this works on support from our seniors, students who have studied in IIT Madras and are professors in other universities or are students in other universities. How can they help us? So a lot of support comes from earlier years. It's IITs, all IITs, not just IIT Madras. All IITs depend a lot on their alumni networks. So this is a big part of who we are. It's a very collaborative atmosphere. All students help each other in applying abroad. There's a concept called a dream college and a safe college. You may already know this, but when you're applying abroad, some colleges which, like say you want to apply to Princeton or Stanford, sure, go ahead. But a lot of students are applying there. So they are dream colleges. And then there are safe colleges, which are lower ranked colleges, which you're sure you'll get. So students usually apply to a few dream colleges and a few safe colleges. Applying abroad is very expensive. Each university has its own application fees. It takes time. Sometimes you have to take the help of other professors, who have to give you a recommendation and so on. So it's a time-taking, expensive affair. So usually people will apply to, say, 3 dream colleges and 3 safe colleges. I'm giving an example. It may not be like that. And so on. So this is how the process works. Students from IIT Madras go to everywhere. My friends from my year have gone to CMU, have gone to Stanford, MIT, Princeton, Harvard, Oxford, INSEAD, everywhere, NUS, NTU, some go to Australia, some go to South Korea. I can't think of a college which hasn't had some students from IIT Madras there earlier. But over the years, the percentage has reduced from 90% of the batch to 5% of the batch. This is simply because more opportunities are available in India, which is great for us. We are lucky. I also chose to stay back because I got a great job in India. But earlier in the 90s and the 80s, there was no option. You had to go abroad because India had fewer jobs or fewer opportunities. So that's how apping works. Again, many fields in IIT Madras, the labs here are some of the best labs in the world. So if you are in those, then it's easier for you to app. If you are in the VLSI division in IIT Madras, the RICE lab, it's the best in the world. So you'll easily get an app. Or if you are an EV, if you're in the NDA or the EV department, not department, the research group. If you have taken courses with those professors, if those professors like you, you've done some additional research work for them, then very easy to apply abroad. Aero and naval also. IIT Madras does really well in aero and naval research. Okay, come back to this slide. Every student is unique. Their journey will be very different. Your journey will be very different from your batchmates' journey. Students have to find themselves, and IIT Madras can only support in this journey of self-discovery. That's it. That's our PPT. A lot of questions are still left. So while we still try to answer some of these questions, we will put up 2 polls. Let us put up the survey poll first, and maybe you can just answer as you are typing. Again, if you're not able to answer the question, you can send us the question on AskIITM.com. We will answer it. This is a great question, and thank you for asking. Is there a lot of pressure and stress for the students? So the answer is that, I mean, yes and no. Yes, because students are suddenly in a very free environment. They have been at home earlier, or they've been in a hostel where somebody will take care of their food, their clothes, somebody will clean their room and so on. But when you are coming to a residential college, you have to take care of your own clothes, you have to clean your own room. There's a lot of freedom. Nobody is coming and switching the lights off, by the way, and so on. So yeah, in the beginning, there's a lot to learn. That itself, that distance from home, that itself is about, a little unnerving in the first year. And the first semester is a learning curve. And in that first semester, you also realize that you may have been a great student in your coaching or your school, but so are the other students. The other students are also pretty good. So then you are in an atmosphere where everybody is competitive, everybody is good, and some students take time to adjust to that. So this causes a little bit of stress. Over time, it is okay. IIT Madras has a bunch of structural elements where it helps you reduce the stress. So there's Kiran, would you want to talk about Sathi, Mitra, that entire infrastructure?
All right. I think we can talk about it in as a 3-tiered structure. So first we have Sathi mentors, which are,
Are you there?
Yeah, one second. So Sathi mentors are student volunteers who volunteer to take on a few students, especially first year students, under their wing. We have a system called the buddy mentor thing. Sathi also plans a lot of events on campus to encourage and facilitate discussions about mental health, about wellness in general. And these include informal gatherings, lectures, talks, and every freshie, that is every first year undergrad student, will get a Sathi mentor assigned to you, just to sort of help you acclimatize to IIT Madras and the culture here. Apart from Sathi, which is fully student run, there's Mitra, which is a reactive body of students and faculty. Again, faculty are there, we have experts, and we also have student mentors in Mitra. And then we have the Wellness Center, which is a body of licensed mental health professionals who offer students emotional support and personal development support. Apart from these, again, we have informal systems of student and senior junior bonds. Within certain departments also sometimes have academic mentor and buddy mentor systems. For example, the humanities department has something called the buddy mentor system, where each senior is, again, like a Sathi mentor, is assigned a few students within their own department. Then there are always measures in place. We have a visiting psychologist at the Insti hospital. And we also have counselors available for students who need to talk. Can you hear me? I can't see
Yes.
this right now.
I can hear you, but yeah, there is a little bit of a lag, but we can hear you clearly.
All right. Yeah, I think this sort of describes everything that we have at IIT Madras. The only issue I feel like mental health and wellness wise that comes across is when students feel isolated. Even though there are measures, it sometimes goes unnoticed that there are measures. Sometimes students make the choice to not approach anyone, which is where we'll need some more assistance. I can't see anyone.
Kiran, I will add to what you're saying. So what you're saying is that every student has a Sathi mentor in his first year. And the Sathi mentor is usually a second year student or a third year student. The Sathi mentor can help you with things like, how can I get this done? Where can I do this? I'm a little confused about this course and so on. Other than that, there are your friends in your wing where you stay and in your course. In addition, you have a faculty advisor. And then there is a wellness center that you can go to and approach a professional, a psychologist if you need, or a counselor if you need. In addition, you can also ask for an alumni mentor, an alumni who's maybe like me, who can maybe answer a few questions that you might have. There is also sometimes if you're doing academically poorly, if you're struggling with your academics, you can also request for an academic mentor. Okay. I hope we have answered most of your questions. I know there are a lot of open questions and there's no way we'll be able to answer all of them. Just looking at it is giving me a lot of stress right now. I hope you've done a decent job of answering your questions. I'm putting up a quiz now, which is basically for us to test how much you've learned, and try to answer it.
I feel like it's a lot of pressure for students who just wrote JEE Advanced.
On the contrary, because they just wrote JEE Advanced, they probably will feel it as a very easy test.
Yeah, true. Also true. I do wish I was back in campus right now because my internet here is horrible. And on campus, I had such fast internet. So that's another thing about IIT Madras. Okay, I think it's loaded now. Yeah.
Okay, I think Kiran, you and I have covered whatever we wanted to cover, more or less. Those of you who have asked questions that you really want answers to, please ask them on AskIITM.com. Just to give you an idea, we have received close to 2,000 questions on AskIITM this year, and we are answering them as much as we can, with as much data as we can, and with as less bias. We don't want to bias you. Finally, you have to take your own decision, but we can give you information. Okay, we'll wait for this quiz poll to be done, and then we can close. Actually, Kiran, what's happening is that a lot of people have left, so I don't know what to answer. Maybe we can try answering things after 1:45.
Can parents stay in guest houses for 1 to 2 days? Yes. There are 2 guest houses on campus. One is the Bose-Einstein guest house and the other is the Taramani guest house. Students and parents can stay in the Taramani guest house where the students can book a room in advance. Basically, you have to go there, sort of get a form, get it filled by the hostel authorities. But yes, it is possible. Then we have
Why
a
do
question.
you outsource people for answering questions and ask IITM? This is a great question. I want to tell you that we are actually a 14-member team. But since there is an event physically in campus today, a lot of us are occupied online, on the physical system. And because Kiran and I are remote, we are not in Chennai today. We are taking the session. And yeah, it's true. We are a bigger team, but all of us couldn't make it today because some of them are in the session. Can I get the PPT of this session? We will mail it to you after the session is over with the video of the recording. I mean, as soon as the video of the recording is done. Should we get your own cycles? Yes. Okay.
Sometimes,
Shall we-
about cycles, just saying, sometimes hostels sort of auction off older cycles. So people who have graduated donate their cycles, and these cycles are auctioned off, which means you can get cycles at a very discounted price, just for people who wanted to know. I was considering buying one myself, which is why I just wanted to let everyone know.
Okay, I'll end the poll and thank you. All of you have scored very well. Full marks. All of you get rank 1. Before we close, just some of you have asked us again and again about the online degree. IIT Madras offers an online degree in data science and in now in electronics, electrical and electronics communication. I'm not sure exactly what.
And electronics.
Right. So the purpose of offering these online degrees is that the IIT Madras is a physical infrastructure is limited. There's only so much we can build. There are only so many buildings that can be done. So the board of IIT Madras decided, and Professor Kamakoti, who is our director, he keeps saying that, you know, ideally IIT Madras should be able to serve 50,000 students, of which maybe 12,500 will be in campus, 25%, and 75% will be online students. So in online students, we can take online students better, easier. They don't need to stay on campus. They can be anywhere. So that's the broad idea. How good is the course? The course is as difficult or as easy as any other IIT course. In the last 3-4 years, about 19,000 students have joined the online course. It's a 4-year course where every year students can drop off, take a diploma and leave. If you stay for the full 4 years and cross all your exams, you will get a BS, Bachelor of Science in Data Science or in Electronics.
And you're considered an alumni of IIT Madras.
And you're considered an alumni of IIT Madras. And you can sit for placements for IIT Madras. If you are a diploma student, you decide to leave midway. That's also okay. You still have the learnings, but you won't get the extra alumni tag or the placement support.
And there are 2 placement drives. The online placement drive is separate from the on-campus placement drive.
Yeah, the online degree has its own placement team. The placements for online degree hasn't happened so far because nobody has completed 4 years yet. It's only a 3.
We've had 1 session, but we don't have the report of that yet.
Okay, this year is
the first session was this May, end of
this year, right? So the first placement drive is over, but we don't have the report. So we can't give you placement data for online BS data science, but we can tell you one thing. Of the 15,000 students who joined, about 3 years back, I don't know how many joined, maybe 12, 13,000 students joined first year. 800 or so have finished or are about to finish. So it's a steep drop. It does get difficult. So students say this is enough for me. Some students don't complete. Some students in the online data science course are also students in other colleges. Somebody is studying in VIT, somebody is studying in SRM or whatever. This is possible because and the UGC, the government body which governs universities, has said that you can do 2 degrees together if the classes don't clash. So you can technically be enrolled in another college, even an NIT or an IIT, and still do the online data science course, BS degree, and graduate with the online data science BS degree. The benefit of that is simply that you don't have to go through JEE Advanced, or if you have written JEE Advanced, that is enough for you to get the admission. So that it allows more people to join. So this is regarding the BS data science course. If you have more questions, please ask it on AskIITM.com. We will answer it. Okay, 2 o'clock, a lot of questions were answered. Some questions were not answered. We apologize for not being able to answer faster. If you ask the questions on AskIITM.com, we will answer it within a day or 2. Kiran, time to say bye.
Yeah, but should we show them the Journey to Eminence video? People
Oh,
can
yeah. Let's do that. Let me play that video. Whoever wants to stay for the video can stay. If you want to drop off, you can drop off. Let me play it now.
The middle class trap. Do you see the apartments in the background?
Yeah, everybody is judging me for not being a YouTube subscriber. Okay, this is the video.
Visitors.
It may not seem like it, but this is Chennai. Located in this forest is an institution that has contributed so greatly to India's intellectual capacity that it is almost impossible to fully comprehend its impact on the world. The Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, is one of the premier universities of India, nurturing some of the brightest minds of the country and molding them into the world's most innovative technologists. The university's unique green campus, one-of-a-kind laboratories, domain-leading pedagogy, and a good measure of extracurricular activities all contribute to making them the industry leaders of tomorrow. The secret behind IIT Madras's ability to create such innovative leaders lies in its past and the incredible vision of the forerunners who set up the institution. In the 1950s, there was a need to create a highly skilled and technical Indian workforce. The Indian Institutes of Technology soon began to be set up, and IIT Madras was third in line. What made IIT Madras unique was their connection to a country that was synonymous with the word engineering: Germany. They offered support by providing state-of-the-art German machinery and experienced German professors to train the first batch of 120 bright Indian minds.
We had 1 week of workshop followed by 1 week of theory classes.
1 week of workshop is so intense that from morning to evening, you had to be engaged in doing lab work, machinery work.
The Germans were particular about the cleanliness. Workshop was clean, maintained clean, machine should be clean, correct specifications, let test to be only in 75 degrees inclination. They are meticulous.
And I remember that they gave us a project in one of the exams of converting a cylindrical piece into a cube just by filing. So you need to keep filing away hours together, days together, till you get blisters on your fingers.
So the workshop was so tough. Some students could not manage. They even went out to IIT because they could not manage the workshops.
So that's a very important lesson that we learned during that time. And I think it has stood me in very good stead.
It is no exaggeration if I say I am what I am because of IIT Madras.
Unlike other universities of the day, the significant amount of time spent in practical work cemented their learnings from the classroom. Very soon, with newly developed capabilities, IIT Madras started providing unique solutions to a young nation's real-world problems. IIT Madras was now well on its way to becoming a hub for industry research and learning. Over the last 60 years, IIT Madras has grown to a university having 16 departments, with most having a core engineering focus. The students at IIT Madras come from all over India and the world. They are thrust into a highly challenging study environment with regular classes and work assignments that constantly challenge them. The university is equipped with state-of-the-art equipment that helps students gain experience on industry-standard technology and keep them on the cutting edge of innovation.
They have really big labs and really big workshops. You can, depending on the lab you're enrolled, you can use almost every kind of machine you can imagine. So I think in our campus you will then get this option. So coming here, I had the option to get in with machines that I've never seen before and I didn't even know they existed.
What makes IIT Madras unique is their focus on applied research. 37 centers of excellence give opportunities for students to pursue research in an area of their interest as they study. An interdisciplinary environment pushes students to think beyond just their selected academic courses and broadens their perspectives.
We get a chance that around 40% to 50% of our credits, we can do it from other departments. For example, I'm doing my minor in mathematics because after my second year, I realized that I'm not going to go in mechanical engineering. So let's pursue the thing that I like. And I think that is something where our college gives a lot of opportunities. The best thing which I find about IIT is it's not about academics or it's not about the things that we learn, but it's about the people that we meet.
Rather than learning from the teachers, you get to learn many things from your peers. It is one of the most important things in any premier institute like IITs.
The residential nature of the IIT Madras campus plays a huge role in creating tomorrow's technology leaders. With some of the smartest minds of the country on campus, the atmosphere is abuzz with new ideas and infectious passion for innovation. IIT Madras is a co-ed university with a rising number of women on campus.
So the campus is really inclusive and everyone gets along. We have maybe some different cultures, but this is not a problem. We all are friends, we all hang out, and it's really nice.
The campus life is really easy because we have everything here. We have cycles to go everywhere. We have everything. This is like a little city.
Students on campus have a long list of activities, clubs, events, and gatherings that keep them engaged during their free time.
People can really let go and, this sort of community and sort of family feeling that you get. It only comes when you can let go of your boundaries. Like these memories that we form in our hostels, very, very nice, yeah.
You know, when you get tired of studying or when you just wanted to take a walk, it's like everywhere you go, it's trees and fresh air, and it's a very nice atmosphere to walk around. So it feels safe and it feels comfortable.
IIT Madras is located in the heart of Chennai, one of the 6 most populated cities in India. But once students enter the gates of IIT Madras, they enter a completely different world. A world of woodlands, lakes, and wildlife. IIT Madras is 600 acres of beautiful dry evergreen scrub forests and is home to one of India's most iconic and graceful antelopes, the black buck.
Students who are coming for the first time to the campus get mesmerized by the greenery around, and you have been shifted to maybe 100 years back in time. And you are living with spotted deer, monkeys. I mean, you name it, you know, where will you get it in the midst of a city?
The first day I came, I was like seeing deers everywhere. So I was like, oh my God, I've never seen this. But then we got used to it. Now it feels like they're just our partners, like the way we feel for cute little dogs and cats in our homes. The same way we feel about deers now.
Students and wildlife coexist beautifully with each other. Every corner of the campus has something to observe for a person interested in the natural world.
So we have started this group which is called Prakriti, the Wildlife Club, which is actually consisting of faculty, students, residents and alumni as well. We also participate in planning and development of the campus in general, and to avoid more conflicts and loss of habitat for wildlife, etc.
In the master plan, we have clearly marked the deer corridors and black buck corridors. So whenever some construction activities or any developmental activities happens in the campus, we make sure that these corridors are not at all disturbed. Even our strategic plan, okay, we are very clearly mentioned that biodiversity conservation and making a sustainable campus is our priority.
IIT Madras has taken steps to preserve as much green cover as possible. New buildings coming up have been built taller rather than spread horizontally to maintain a smaller footprint. The forest and the animals that inhabit it make IIT Madras one of the most extraordinary university campuses in the world.
All academic institutions abroad, or all good academic institutions abroad, they all have a university research park. It's been found to be a fertile source of ideas and a source of intellectual property rights. So it was clear that we needed a research park ourselves. So we started the first phase when I was director. We completed the first phase in 2010. And now the second phase has been completed also. Since then, when Bhaskar took over as director, he's completed second phase.
I started trying to build relationship with industry and try to figure out what is going on there. I found that the most industries are actually importing technology, lock, stock and barrel. They are practically doing no R&D. And it was very natural that IIT's R&D should focus on working with industry. And from there onwards, there has been effort to try to get industry and academia to work together.
The IIT Madras Research Park is a place where ideas come to life with an intent to transform the lives of people. From mobility to power solutions, and even launching satellites into space, the Research Park incubates and nurtures the ideas of tomorrow. It has currently helped launch a number of innovative companies to go from prototype to product. These companies have gone on to become pathbreakers in their respective fields. The IIT Madras Research Park, through its 10x goals, plans to make the impossible possible by expanding its goals and operations tenfold to positively impact industry and society alike. Even though the university has modernized over the years, IIT Madras has retained a lot of its original structures from its inception. These buildings have been revamped, and students today still continue to use them just as their counterparts did in the 1960s.
Now, one very good feature of this IIT is the great bond that exists between the alumni and the institution itself.
Students continue their relationship with the university well after they have graduated. The IIT Madras alumni believe in giving back to their alma mater. Apart from lecturing and counseling at the university, they also fund large infrastructure projects that help further research and benefit generations of students in IIT Madras.
Because of those alumni network, we are still getting much benefits in terms of placements as well. So they bring in their own companies are coming here to recruit people from IIT Madras.
Even though 50 years have gone, I've kept my contact with the IIT. And it's always a pleasure to come back to this campus.
Around the time IIT Madras was turning 50, there was a lot of interest in the heritage of the institute. So the idea of a museum was being discussed, and finally it crystallized into the Heritage Center. The Heritage Center was created with the stated intention of collecting items of heritage value to IIT Madras and to exhibit them. The Heritage Club is one of the many clubs of IIT Madras, and it caters to the interests of students who are interested in the heritage of the institute itself as well as the world outside. The activities are in the form of talks, workshops and so on, which specially cater to students.
One of the activities of the Heritage Center is the Heritage Walk, where visitors and students are taken to different parts of the campus and shown historic buildings and landmarks. They are also taken on beautiful nature trails which lead to serene lakes and ancient temples. IIT Madras has grown exponentially over the years and is bursting at the seams with ideas and research to pursue. A new campus at Tayyur in the outskirts of Chennai has been earmarked for IIT Madras's future endeavours.
So the Tayyur campus is a 250-acre campus in which we are planning to set up a lot of new exploratory, large-scale, high-impact projects. Effective in a sense, it translates into something very important for our country. There is a necessity for our country to bringing that Atmanirbharta in that particular field. That is where we are concentrating.
IIT Madras has begun a one-of-a-kind online education program to reach out to as many people as possible. Its USP being that they attend to every single student enrolled in these programs.
So my ambition is to have 50,000 students enrolled in IIT Madras, in which around 12,500 would be on campus and the 37,500 would be through our online education. With respect to international relationships, we also find that there are many countries, like how Germany came and helped us set up an IIT. There are many places where we can go and help them build a good academic institution. Like one request has come from Tanzania, where we go and set up a IIT Tanzania. We are now just signed up a dual degree program, BTech here and 1 year MTech with Purdue on the semiconductor electronics. We would like to have our students become employers and CTOs rather than an employee. This is our motto.
IIT Madras has been on a rapid growth trajectory over the last decade and has consistently maintained a #1 position in the NIRF ranking. It is also recognized as an institute of eminence by the Indian government. With a focus on entrepreneurship and cutting-edge research, IIT Madras has set itself on a path to create an immense positive impact in society and industry by producing technology leaders who will build a truly self-reliant nation.
Hope you liked our film. Now, step into the center, view our exhibits, and see for yourselves how IITM has transformed itself into an institution of global eminence.
Okay, everyone, we are going to close the webinar now, and we'll send you the recording of feedback form and the presentation by email to all registered participants on their registered email ID. Thank you. See you all. Have a good day. Bye, Kiran.
Bye.